Mansion Park in Altoona. The PIAA and WITF Channel 33 at Harrisburg present high school football, championship high school football. PIAA High School State Championship celebrating their 10th anniversary this year. The champion out of the West, the Commodores of Perry Traditional, undefeated at 14-0. The champions out of the East with a rousing win a week ago in the Eastern Final with a record of 12-2. The Berwick Bulldogs trying to match what the Carlisle Thundering Herd did in basketball a decade ago and become the first four-time state champ and run the table. Hello again, everyone. Jed Donahue along with Gary Sutton and Mark Shuey. There you get your first look in at the Commodores of Perry, a team that features great speed. Mark, Perry goes into this game, well, a bit of an underdog. Berwick is one of these teams that has just really gotten on a roll defensively. And again, they've been here, done that as far as this situation is concerned. Perry has not been to the state championship since 1989 when they beat Berwick 20-8.
Yeah, this game should be interesting. It's a game of contrasting styles. The blazing speed of Perry against the bruising power of Berwick. It ought to be an interesting contrast. Both teams possess outstanding defenses. Berwick has posted 8 shutouts throughout the season. Perry, their defensive unit, has posted 9 shutouts throughout the season. And Berwick is, of course, led by their great senior quarterback, Jeremy Chapin. He's 26-2 over his career with the Bulldogs, 7-0 in the playoffs. And this will be his 8th playoff game. He's going to try to bring home another state title. As we look at the weather forecast for this evening, it's cold, and the gusting winds could be a factor. 26 degrees, and that number will decline as the evening goes on. Snow flurries have occurred throughout the afternoon. They should not be much of a factor here at Mansion Park as you look on at some of the big crowd. And there is Perry, the champions of the West. They're coming in undefeated at 14-0.
All right, Gary, we talked about Carlisle. They won 4 in a row. Berwick trying to get into that kind of area code later tonight. You're George Curry. You've been here before. You have a lot of players who've experienced this particular situation. How do you keep things fresh, and how do you keep things motivated?
Well, I think this is a Berwick team that kind of puts this game on their schedule each year at the end of the season. You know, most of these guys, all the seniors, have played on teams that have always won a state championship, so they're somewhat spoiled. But I think George Curry does a great job of putting out an us-against-everybody kind of attitude every year that keeps a little bit of a chip on the shoulder when you get to this big game.
Well, emotion plays an awful lot in it. Gary, I mean, how do you keep emotions in check? Obviously, you want to make sure that it works to your advantage and not a disadvantage.
Well, I think when a coach comes here, one of the things you have to do is to try to ignore all the hoopla, ignore all the things going on around you, and focus on the fact that this is, in fact, just another game this week, even though state championship gets attached to it. So as long as you go out there and you attack with what you know well, you attack with what you do well, and then adjust throughout the course of the game to the things that you haven't seen before, whoever does that the best will walk away the PIAA state champion.
George Curry talked about 5 players, he thinks, with absolute Division I college-type speed, led by the quarterback, of course, Rod Rutherford, who's just sensational and only a junior, a left-hand player, which is a different kind of look. But Berwick, I'll tell you what, they bring a lot of experience into the trenches. Gus Felder, a Penn State verbal, coming into this game, 6'5", 300 pounds, an absolute hammer.
Yeah, he really is. He's 300 pounds, and he's a big, solid, muscular 300 pounds, and he can move. He's very quick. As you're looking at Quentin Swain there, and here come the Berwick captains out to midfield, and they're going to meet with the Perry captains. But Berwick's a very big team. They're a very powerful team. But you mentioned Rod Rutherford, a tremendous athlete. Last week, he not only threw for 115 yards, he rushed for 114 yards. He can do it all. He's a certifiable multi-dimensional threat at the quarterback spot. He throws a very nice ball. Sharp pass, crisp pass. He's a left-hander. He may have a little bit of difficulty with the wind tonight. Who knows? That remains to be seen. But Rod Rutherford is an excellent, excellent ball player.
Will receive. He'll defend with gold. Please stand down there. Please come up here. That's deferred. All right. Will receive. Okay, gentlemen, shake hands, please.
All right, Perry goes on offense first. Berwick, they'll get the ball to start the second half. All right, teams are going right to their strengths right away. Perry thinks they can put points up on anybody, and, well, statistically, there's certainly no reason not to believe them. 615 points on the season. We're going to take you around Mansion Park, give you an idea of some of the sights, the sounds, the players' look, as they gear up for the biggest game of the year, the championship in AAA. Berwick going for number 4 in a row. Perry going for their first state championship since 1989. And here is our national anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you please rise as we honor the United States of America with the playing of the Star Spangled Banner, to be played by the Perry High School Marching Band under direction of Mr. Tom Perry. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Go!
As Berwick looks to attain a 4th consecutive state championship, which is just incredible. Getting one, Gary, can be almost an impossible task, but to think that this team is going for 4 in a row is unreal.
Well, and the common denominator there you've got to look at is George Curry. George Curry right there in the middle of his huddle, getting his team together. He has been the blood and guts. He has been the guy for 27 years that has guided this program, and he knows how to do it. Last week, a lot of people thought he'd get dethroned by Manheim Central. What did he do? Manheim Central never crosses the half field line the whole first half. They got a safety, a couple of fumbles, and Berwick just did him in 37-0. And this is a team that most people say is not as good as a normal Berwick standard, but here they are once again.
Well, they say defense wins championships, and boy, Berwick's numbers defensively, Mark, have just been astounding this year.
It is absolutely astounding. Just 2 touchdowns have been scored against the Bulldogs defense since early October. Wyoming area scored both those 2 in the District 2 championship game. And like I echo Gary's thoughts on last week's game, Berwick and Manheim Central. A 37-0 pasting of Manheim Central is absolutely stunning. That's a powerful football team that's able to do that to Manheim Central, a very, very good football team out of the District 3.
So here we go, ready to get things going. Travis Brown. Check that, Jeremy Chapin, quarterback, will kick off. And we are underway in the championship in AAA. Coming under it here is going to be Rob Butler. A little trouble handling it, and out he goes. The rug squeezed out from under him at about the 16-yard line.
That may be a problem we see throughout the night. It's very cold. It's very windy, and as we saw, the snow flurries were flying. There's the offensive unit for the Perry Commodores. Rod Rutherford, the great quarterback, number 12. Chuck Griffey, a 1,000-yard rusher. Rob Butler at fullback. Mike Dusick, the tight end. Ramon Edison is the wide receiver. And Corey Oakes, the favorite target of Rutherford, is number 22, the other wideout.
Watch Corey Oakes, a 4'3", 40 man, an absolute game breaker. Rutherford under center. He had a 99-yard interception return on defense. He gets out. He's back. He's looking. He's throwing long. Up for Butler, jump ball at midfield, and he almost came down with it. Everybody in and around that ball. Berwick converging well. Good coverage downfield. Jeremiah Dyer, he's a linebacker, and there he is downfield in pass coverage.
Yeah, downfield and pass coverage. Here's the offensive line for the Perry Commodores. Charles Linhart, Adam Hughes. David Arlett is the center. Jay Bryant is one guard, and the right tackle is Suleiman Akbar, number 74.
Akbar is a big-time player, 6'3", 225. Second down and 10. 10 seconds into the football game. Boy, they're showing a message right away, going deep, trying to stretch things out. Rob Butler. This is a junior-dominated lineup for Perry. There are many who believe that they could be back here even a year from now. Big hole to the outside. Rob Butler's got the corner, has 5, has 10. First down, a lot more than that down the sideline, all the way down to the Berwick 48-yard line. They say speed kills. It does there, 37 yards. Rob Butler, little misdirection look here coming, and he can fly.
This is just a great play. Yeah, it is a misdirection play. Butler gets the corner, and watch the strength here. Butler with the stiff arm right here on number 25. That's Chris Banyas. Watch this. Just sheds the attempted tackle by Banyas, and another straight arm, skips out of bounds. Big gain for Butler. It's 1st and 10. The ball in Berwick territory at the 48.
Vermon Edison lined up at a wide receiver, 3 wide. Berwick a little anxious on the front. Handoff, first man through is going to be Ken Grimmett, 5'9", 160 pounds. And he runs into Tim Schechterle. He's only 5'10", 190 pounds, number 20 on the lineup there.
Tim Schechterle, he's the defensive tackle Jed was talking about. J.D. Stanley, number 93, is defensive end. John Ohl, John Spencer, Larry Hook, Jeremiah Dyer, linebacker, and Leroy Spencer, another linebacker, as the Berwick defensive unit up front.
2nd down and 9, the ball at the Berwick 47. Tell you what, Rod Rutherford, he is outstanding. Pitch to the outside. This is Chuck Griffey. He's got over 1,600 yards, and Berwick crawls all over him at about the 44, a gain of 3. Griffey's numbers most impressive, 25 touchdowns, averages 10.5 yards, and that's what the defense for Berwick is looking to slow down tonight a little bit.
And there's the defensive secondary on your screen for the Berwick Bulldogs. The free safety is Jason Harmon, strong safety.
Ball at the 44. This game's only a minute and a half old. Lots of action. 3rd and 6. Big conversion coming now.
There you're looking at Chuck Griffey, the fine tailback. He has 9 touchdowns in his postseason already.
Rutherford under center. Another misdirection. This is Oakes. Spin move, but they may have taken too much time. Oakes is a burner. Again, George Curry had mentioned in much of the pregame build-up to this
We have a timeout.
about the speed.
Yeah, Oakes is a burner. You know, he's the favorite target of Rod Rutherford, the quarterback for Perry. Rutherford has 54 completions on the year, good for more than 1,000 yards. So that tells you that it's about 20 yards per completion. So he throws the home run ball, and 9 times out of 10, that Corey Oakes is right around it. He's got 21 catches for 342 yards in the season. We saw Chuck Griffey, the fine running back for Perry earlier. He's got 1,640 yards rushing. Look at that, 25 touchdowns. And the number that stands out for me, Jed, Gary, is look at that average per carry, 10.5.
Scary.
That's a first down per carry.
But you look at their stats, Mark, 615 points. This is a team, as Barry Switzer would say, hang half 100 on you in a big-time hurry. These guys can move.
And defensively, they've only given up 26 all year long.
Rutherford is back. He's looking. He throws. Got a man. It's Oakes. It's too high and too tall at the 25. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Gary?
Jeb, one of the nice things that Rutherford does, he drops back like a right-hander, and then he turns and sets up in that left hand. If you're not on the ball all the time from a defensive lineman standpoint, now watch. There's the turn we talked about. He sets up the throw, and if you don't remember he's a left-hander, all of a sudden you can get burned.
You know, and the advantage that in that fashion is he gets a good look at the pocket around him. He gets a good look at a potential problem coming up on the blind side.
Well, Berwick now will try and eke out some field position. Always look for a fake with these guys. Anything's possible. They bang it out of there. It's a low 9-iron shot that Perry will down at about the 16-yard line, and that's where Berwick will get their initial possession of the football game. Straight up, 10 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Still scoreless in the championship in AAA. Perry, the champion out of the West, running the table coming into this game at 14-0. Berwick's 2 losses this year. 37-7 at Cleveland St. Ignatius, whose 2 losses this year were the mythical national champ in the USA Today poll, and there's the Berwick offense.
Berwick offense breaks huddle. Jeremy Chapin, the quarterback, Cody Hall, Roy James, William Ferreira, Chris Banyas, and Kip McCade.
Hand off to the outside, Melchiori, I believe, for no gain. I'm not sure that was Melchiori. Was it Melchiori? Okay. They are confirming that for me. Thank you, George. George Zura keeping the book, as always, here. Championship weekend in Altoona.
For those of you who have never seen the Berwick offense before, you'll see players run over to Coach Curry every play, too. A little bit unusual every single time, and the linemen wait out there for him to come back with a play.
Chris Banyas into the game at a wide receiver position. Also Kip McCabe. Chapin is back. Pitches it out. This is Cody Hall trying to find the outside corner. Perry with all that speed strings him out and a loss of 2. It's Corey Oakes in on the stop. You won't see one any better out of the free safety spot like that.
That was just a great play, and there you see the raw speed of a Corey Oakes. Look at this. You got the little flip pass coming out to Cody Hall, and Cody Hall kind of gets lost behind his offensive line. They set up the wall. He comes back the other way, gets the corner, but watch this blue streak coming from the right side of the screen. That is Corey Oakes, and he brings him down for a loss of 2.
And big Suleiman Akbar forced that play to the outside and brought it back to the near side of the field where it was finished off.
A lot of coaches most impressed. Chapin back on 3rd and 12. He can also run. Little dump off pass. Complete right at the stick. Pass complete, I believe, to Seth Fluke. It's right at the stick at about the 26-yard line.
Yeah, Seth Fluke, he knew right where the first down marker was, and I believe Berwick does have the first down. Here you see Chapin, the quarterback, rolling to his left, and he finds his receiver, Seth Fluke, right at the stick. Good route, good pass. Nice play for Berwick. There you look at the Berwick offensive unit, the offensive line. It is enormous. Big number 79 right there in the middle is 300-pounder Gus Felder.
Talk about Chapin in a long line of quarterbacks there with Bo Orlando, Ron Paulus, Jake Kelster. It goes on and on and on.
Dave Robbins, off to Boston College now. Won a state title here a couple of years ago.
Second man through. This looks to be Melchiori for another first down. Big burst, 15 yards. Tackle made downfield. Malachi Walker is in on the play.
There, you're right down along the line of scrimmage as this thing just busted free right in the middle. And you got to look at Berwick's offensive line. You got Matt Snyder in there, Jim Henry, Jason Holloway. These guys just blew out a big hole, big gain. 1st and 10. Ball approaching midfield at the 44-yard line.
Roy James, 250-pounder and a fullback. He's leading this for Melchiori. Spins, winds to the 49-yard line. A gain of 6. Well, Lou Holtz always says the most important stat in any football game, average yards on first down. Here's what Berwick dominates.
Yeah, look at this offensive line. Gus Felder, number 79, he's 300 pounds. John Oles, a big one, too. Matt Snyder's the center. Jim Henry and Jason Holloway round out the fine offensive line unit for George Curry's Berwick Bulldogs.
Henry's the lightest load at 210 pounds. James and Hall are in an open set now behind the quarterback, Jeremy Chapin. Chapin on a keeper, bootleg, trying to find the outside. Nothing doing that time. Tackle made. Miko Riley, 5'10", 170-pounder.
I think with the field getting slick right now, you saw a moment of hesitation there by Chapin. It looked like he had the corner, but then he kind of held up.
There you see the Perry defense, the defensive end. Jay Bryant and Anthony Evans, defensive tackles Kevin Williams and John Jones, the linebackers, Ray Millen. Suleiman Akbar made that fine play earlier, and Nate Brown, number 35. The defensive backfield for Perry, Rod Rutherford and Mackay Riley. They are the safeties. Rob Butler and Corey Oakes man the corners.
All those guys with world-class speed. Handoff going to be, looks to be Melchiori again, and he spins for another first down inside the Perry 40 to the 39. A rip of 10 yards right behind big Gus Felder on his way to Penn State. Felder, there you see him blow it open.
Yeah, he had the initial hole, but there was some poor tackling by the Perry defensive unit just past the line of scrimmage. You're going to see Melchiori get the ball right here. And watch. Okay, he's got that hole right there, but here, a couple of guys have a crack at him, just slip tackle.
Roy James, the fullback, he's the guy with his fist right on the carpet there, and you got Hall in motion here. And this is going to come back. Perry covers him well, though. First man on the scene was Kevin Williams. He's a 250-pounder. He's the one that slowed it down and then got help from his friends there. Hall, a transfer from Wilmington, Delaware, and a senior and an outstanding prospect, Division I.
And we see Coach George Curry in his 27th year.
And you know, if this team's called the Bulldog, there's the head Bulldog on the side, and Cody Hall trying to follow in the master's footsteps.
Cody Hall just a shade under 1,000 yards, 983, 7 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns in 14 games on just 140 carries.
One of the things we can watch for in that line right now offensively, doing a lot of trap blocking there from the left side over, and it's opened up some nice holes there for Melchiori to go through.
Yeah, Roy James, Gary, 250 pounds. Right now it looks like they're going to throw. Blitz is coming. Chapin runs for his life, throws on the run, incomplete. He was really, really pressured. No time to count the house back there that time because bringing the house defensively on the blitz, Perry. And leading the way was a man on your screen right there, Big J. Bryant.
Yeah, and David Robinson came from his cornerback spot. He came on the blitz as well. So, yeah, they had there was a jailbreak out there. And Chapin did the right thing. He rolled out of the pocket, tried to escape danger, and didn't really find an open receiver, so just gunned it out of bounds. Very smart play. 5:39
remain in this opening quarter, still scoreless. Tell you what, when you send the corner a safety, you better make sure he gets to the quarterback. Cody Hall, he's the motion man now. On 2nd and 15, Chapin, quick drop, quick look, still back, now runs. Looking over the middle, intercepted. This could be interesting. Rod Rutherford, he had a 99-yard return last week. This one sets up 1st and 10, Perry at the 45.
Yeah, Rod Rutherford, we told you about his tremendous athleticism. That time, Rutherford just playing the safety, and ball was thrown right to him. Look, Chapin, he has some time initially, but the pocket collapses. And here he goes. He's looking for a receiver, overthrows the intended man, and there, out of the safety spot, is Rod Rutherford right in the numbers, and Rutherford takes it another 20 yards or so. Perry sets up shop 1st and 10 at their own 45.
Chuck Griffey, the lone setback. Whistle.
Referee's timeout.
Looks like an equipment. Yeah. You want to make sure everybody's strapped in there a little bit. Chuck Griffey now. He's the lone setback. He gets the call. Griffey, step around move. Has 5. He's into the secondary. Oh, is he dangerous? To the Berwick 43-yard line. A rip of 11 and a Perry 1st down. Well, beginning to see why this guy averages 10.5 yards a carry.
Look at this. Little trap block up front. Stutter step by Griffey. Look at the hole opened up on the right side of that line. That's Akbar Bryant, Dusak on the Perry offensive line, opening up a huge hole for Griffey.
Griffey, the lone setback again. Berwick jams that line of scrimmage. They're going to go Griffey again. This time bounces to the outside. Needs a cutback move. Does that inside the 40. Down to about the 38-yard line. A gain of 5.
The whole theme and trend of this game so far revolves totally around the speed of Perry. They've shown it man-to-man defense. Now they're coming back with their offense, and they just give you that little bit of a gleam in the eye, and then they dance through there, and you're on your back porch before you know it.
Big 235-pound John Ole tried to tackle Griffey, and that's why he gains more than 10 yards a carry. He's very tough to bring down.
The thing about Griffey, he looks very well and pulls the trigger late. Rutherford, this time big trouble. J.D. Stanley's got him for a big loss. Outside linebacker shot right through there on the blitz. Stanley, he started a long time, and he outfoxed the quarterback that time.
He sure did. Bad decision here by the quarterback, Rod Rutherford. He was going to fake it one way, and that Stanley, J.D. Stanley, just shook off the block and met Rutherford head on. A loss of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 12 for Perry. The ball at the 45-yard line of the Berwick Bulldogs. Under 4 minutes to go here. Quarter number 1, no score. Berwick and Perry.
Watch Corey Oakes with single coverage. He's down at the bottom of your screen. This time, double handoff. This is Bryant. He's got room to the outside. We'll see if he can get the corner. Berwick covers it well. Oh, now there's a tackle out of bounds, and that'll be a personal foul. That is going to be against Jason Harmon. And that's 15 yards the hard way. Definitely the tackle was made 5 yards past after he got out of bounds.
And on the replay, check out the block that Rutherford throws right down there on J.D. Stanley to make this reverse come off. Here it comes. And there was a great block to open him up around the corner there. We can catch that a little bit earlier. But wonderful run there again by the man on the end around.
Rob Butler, just the pure power of Rob Butler at 6 foot, 180 pounds. He just bowled over a couple of Berwick players. Corey Getz really got a lick in, but Butler kept moving with the personal foul
number 23,
which was the late hit out of bounds on Rob
first
Butler.
down.
That'll take the ball all the way down to the Berwick 17-yard line. There's your time left in the first quarter, 3:33. And there's fumble.
Ball is loose. I think Berwick's got it. Definitely a fumble on the way through, and Berwick has recovered. Oh, giveaway, takeaway. It's the most important stat in football. It has a lot to do with how the big stat, the final score, turns out. First big break, Berwick tonight.
Well, it was Griffey trying to dive through there and just basically lost the handle. I don't know if he ever really had it totally, but lost the handle, and Berwick, opportunistic as always, right on top of it.
Here you see it. Can't really see. He does have it. It's tucked away, seems to be, but didn't catch a number 93. That looks like J.D. Stanley came in and more or less stripped that ball out of Griffey's hands. Well, Berwick dodges a bullet early on.
Hand off Melchiori, and he dives forward to about the 15-yard line.
Berwick gives you that multiple set formation all the time. One time you'll see them in an I. The next time they'll split their backs. The next time they're in a pro formation. Berwick will give you all kinds of looks throughout the course of the evening, and that's what makes them so hard to play against, Mark.
No question about it. You know, the coaching staff of George Curry and the Berwick Bulldogs, these guys have been around a long time. They've seen a lot of football, and I'll tell you what, they do give you a lot of looks. It's a very difficult team to prepare for.
Double out that time with a slap back.
Back goes Chapin, out of bounds at about the 16-yard line.
There you see number 24, Ray Miller, making the tackle on that play. 6 foot, 205-pound senior. Chapin fading back. He likes that rolling pocket. Jeremy Chapin likes to take that snap and sprint out. Ray Miller, great play, good pursuit. And, you know, Perry, the speed is their asset, but, you know, like any Western Pennsylvania football team, the name of the game is hitting people, and they like to do that, too.
Down to 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Delayed draw, Cody Hall trying to squirt through, but Perry is really charged up defensively, and Berwick's going to be forced to punt.
So far, anything that Berwick has gotten, they've gotten between the tackles. They're getting nothing to the outside because of the blazing speed of Perry on the pursuit to the sides.
Yeah, here you go. It's a delayed handoff. Number 22, Cody Hall, finds real estate very tough in there. Yeah, anytime you get outside the tackles, like you said, Gary, Perry's speed closes very quickly. They've got great pursuit defensively.
Still a scoreless game here in the opening quarter. 4th and 4, like they were actually going to go for it that deep in their own territory. Chapin will drop back in punt formation. And it bounces once, and they're looking around there. Dangerous play, I'll tell you what, picking it up that time, Ken Grimmett. About the 43, and Berwick crawls all over him.
I'll tell you, Perry coach Gus Catanese can't be too happy about the way his players handled that punt. Either you get away from it, or you scoop it up right away before the coverage comes down, but these guys kind of straddled the fence, and they were very fortunate that a turnover did not occur right there.
You know, you talk about that 20-8 win in 1989 when Perry beat Berwick in the game, and everybody says, well, does that come back to haunt anybody? The Perry kids get to see the film every night before the game of that particular game. Yeah. And for George Curry, he said, my memory's still very vivid of that game, but tonight's tonight, and that's all that matters.
Final minute, lone setback, Griffey, Rutherford. He's a guy that can go off at any time. Little handoff goes to Corey Oakes. 6 foot senior. We've already talked about what blazing speed he has. He was only gets a yard or two. That's it. Jeremiah Dyer in on the stop.
Look at the blocking in there in the interior. J.D. Stanley slowed him up, and then number 28, Leroy Spencer, came out of the secondary to make the tackle. But boy, Corey Oakes was just getting the burners fired up and ready to turn that corner when Spencer came in and made the tackle. It was a good play defensively by Berwick's Leroy Spencer. There you see the Perry sidelines as the clock winds down to end this first quarter of play.
Gus Catanese. Has his team back in the state championship, first time again since '89. Pitch this time goes to Bryant. Bryant's got a seam, midfield, still pushing, and he's going to be caught short of a first down. J.D. Stanley on top of the stack. Also in on the stop, Larry Hook. He's a 200-pound junior. Lots of juniors on this Berwick lineup. I believe Corey Getz, too, you spotted there, Mark.
Yeah, I think Corey Getz just may have saved a first down. Number 33, actually, that's Jeremiah Dyer. May have saved a first down because certainly a lot of open real estate beyond Dyer. Dyer made the great tackle.
This broadcast underwritten by the dairy farmers of the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program and the American Dairy Association, who remind you that your body needs strong muscle, steady nerves, and quick energy to compete in today's athletics. Your body needs the right fuel. Got milk? Come back to Mansion Park. Jed Donahue along with Gary Sutton and Mark Shuey. There you see some of the Perry fans. Well, I think Perry won the first quarter, but not by much. They had that great opportunity deep in Berwick territory, but a Chuck Griffey fumble gave it back to Berwick. But I think Perry has established some things pretty well in this game.
Well, I think you got to look at Perry in the first quarter as the aggressor right now, and Berwick basically is the counter-puncher keeping him off, because Berwick just basically was able to hammer back a little bit, but Perry just seems like they're kind of picking and choosing and looking at the little places that can constantly be ready to violate your space at any particular time and explode in for a touchdown.
3rd and 3 now for Perry. Rutherford on a keeper, slides through, first down, a lot more than that, into the secondary and all the way down to the Berwick 33-yard line. Gain of 16, and Rutherford is so silky smooth through the pocket.
Yeah, there you see the athleticism of quarterback Rod Rutherford. This is a design play, called his number all the way. Hole opens up, Dyer missed the tackle there, and Rutherford has some open spaces, picks up the first down very easily, takes it all the way to the Berwick 33-yard line. Berwick player down on the play. You were talking about that Perry may have had the slight edge statistically. Yeah, they do. 65 total yards for Perry, all on the ground in the first quarter of play. Meanwhile, for Berwick, 34 yards passing for quarterback Jeremy Chapin, 21 yards rushing for Berwick for a total of 55. 65 total yards for Perry, 55 for Berwick. And that's where we stand as we're moments into quarter number 2, no score.
Mark, while we're waiting, we have a player down in the field. It'll be interesting to see that last play again. If you watch Rutherford, one of the great things when you run an option play like Rutherford just did is you'll learn how to pace yourself into that hole. You don't just rush in there. You let the blocking set up. You kind of step in there and kind of worm your way through. Now watch this. He paces himself through, and then you explode into that secondary, and then it's time to turn on those afterburners.
That's a good point. Rutherford has the ability, and any very good scrambling quarterback has the ability to kind of lope down the line of scrimmage and see where you're going to go and watch that hole and watch it open up, watch it develop, and then, like you say, turn the corner. And there you see the injury. Looks like a knee to the head, maybe, something like that.
Right.
I don't know.
Maybe we can find it on the replay here.
Yeah, we just...
Really doesn't come up on the replay that much. It's hard to see.
Wow.
You don't like to see any player go down in a game like this, and I'm sure both coaches feel that way. You want everybody healthy and playing their best and walking off the field at the end.
One thing you can be certain of in situations like this.
Here we're going to see the injury occur once again.
Oh, there it is, right there. Good work, guys. Let's find out who that is. See if we can run that again. That would be Jason Harmon.
He's a 5'10", 175-pound senior.
Defensive back came in there and looks like he might have banged heads almost with his own people.
It's good to see him moving his leg.
Yeah, he's moving.
You always want to see that.
That was a tremendous collision as his own player inadvertently struck his head with his knee. So,
Gary, what's the feeling, coaches? Sometimes a lot of people get a misconception. I mean, we saw George Curry out there, but not for a long time. I mean, as a coach, how do you handle this situation?
Well, as a coach, the first thing you do is you get out there and you let them know you're concerned. You want to make sure the right people get out there with your player right away. Of course, you got the best people you could have here, all kinds of medical people here at the stadium. So you wanted to make sure the right people get on top of the situation right away. Once you're sure that your young man is not in a point of danger here, now you can get away from that situation, because you're not going to help that much at that point in time except to get in the way. Get back over with your team, stay out of the way there, let the right people take care of the situation. Boy, if you ever want to hear a stadium go hush, you have a young man go down a high school football game like this, and everybody's sitting here just rooting and rooting and rooting for this young man to get up and walk out of here healthily.
We've got a scoreless game with 11:54 to go here in the second quarter. The injured player is Jason Harmon, who's a 5'10" junior.
I think you've got two themes really going in this game so far, Jed, as you start to watch the trends take place. The one trend, you have a Berwick team that wants to pick away at you, do good things with ball control, the short passing game, the nice traps in the middle, the running up the gut with Cody Hall and people like that in Melchior. On the other side, you have a team, Perry Traditional, that's used to putting a lot of points on the board during the course of the game. They want to hit you with the big play. They want to explode on you. They want to put a little bit of finesse to you every now and then, give you the misdirection kind of plays, but they want to put a touchdown on the board as quickly as possible. So two different themes. Neither one has been established so far, but I would say thus far in the game, except for the fumbling mistake down here by Perry Traditional, they have had it more their way than Berwick has, with 11:54 to go here in the second quarter. Mark?
Yeah, I agree with you, Gary. And, you know, it is a stiff breeze. You really can't tell on your television screen, but it's a very stiff breeze that's coming from the right to your left on your screen. So it is clearly at the back of Perry right now. But, you know, it may be a night where you don't throw a whole lot, even though Rod Rutherford is an accomplished quarterback. So you may have him run the ball more often than he throws the ball. But they also have the very dangerous Corey Oakes, because they can get the ball to in an end-around fashion. They also, of course, have Chuck Griffey. So a lot of offensive weapons on the Perry side of the ball, and they are trying to use these offensive weapons in various fashion here.
Classy move there on the part of the Perry staff, as coaches went out to double check for their side also to make sure the young man's okay. And now you see the stretcher being brought out. They are stabilizing his neck right now. Many times, too, Jed, as you well know, that's a precautionary type thing to make sure that there's not spinal damage or anything along that line.
His parents are on the field, and, of course, he's getting the best of the medical attention right now.
Doctors are assuring the parents that everything will be okay. You really hope so. Boy, Gary, you think about 10 to 15 to even 20 years ago to today, when this sort of injury used to happen. I mean, it's like, not that anybody didn't care, but I mean, you got the best of everything now at any kind of sporting event.
Well, you really do it. Again, you have to remember you're playing in the state championship game, and one of the great things that people like Elliot Hopkins, Bob Lombardi, Brad Cashman do here that run these tournaments, they make sure that all the best people that could be on hand medically are on hand. And of course, you have the hospital right nearby here, and they're making sure that every precaution is taken before this young man gets moved. And the worst thing could happen is to move him and have a back injury take place as a result of that, or worse, neck injury, something along that line.
You mentioned that when the PIAA puts on the high school football championships here in Altoona, they do go full bore. They get the best of everything, medical attention and facilities clearly, and also the referees. I mean, they earn their way here. They choose the best referees throughout the state. So you really have top-level people in every phase of this operation, including medical attention, which we are seeing right now, administered to the Berwick player who's down on the field.
You know, you saw the mother right there, and obviously our thoughts go out to her here at the moment, Mrs. Harmon, I'm sure. But, you know, not that dads are insensitive, guys, but, you know, every mom has a son out there, and I'll tell you what, anytime your kid gets hurt and you're just there and you're just hoping that nothing bad has happened there, and we certainly have that same hope right now.
Well, with a neck injury, and it's obviously from the replay that we saw, definitely a neck situation, you have to make every kind of precaution. You just bolt everything down because of just the sensitive nature of this sort of thing.
Keep in mind,
so sometimes it always can be a lot more dramatic looking than it actually is.
And the positive thing, again, that we
But
saw
his legs were
the
moving
legs
and everything,
moving,
so,
yes.
I mean, there are a lot of hopeful signs there. And I think with his parents over there talking to some of the medical staff that's on hand here, I think that's what they're pointing out. And there's
Mrs. Harmon.
Jason Harmon, again a senior, 5'10", 175-pounder. He's been on 3 state championship teams already.
Yeah, the senior class here at Berwick, they're playing for their 4th state title game. They're going to try to
4 cracks.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
They're going to try to graduate from school and not knowing what it's like to not win a state title, which is a very tremendous feat.
Well, they've done an excellent job. And of course the fans, the hand, and you just hope that everything. He'll be taken to nearby hospital, obviously, for everything. But Gary, you know, what I was talking about, you think about 20 years ago, just how far it has come as far as the medical personnel, the technology that is available. It's just a lot safer.
Well, it really is. You know, there's a young man on this team this year named Spencer. His name's Leroy Spencer. He suffered an injury playing football on this team early in the year when he had a head concussion. And one of the interesting things about it, they took him to the hospital, and what they discovered was the young man had a brain tumor. And as a result of that, he actually went to Geisinger Medical Center, which is not too far from Berwick. He then decided to play football. The family let him play football. He's actually going to have an operation on that after the season's over. But that young man's here tonight. So, you know, again, we hope this injury is not something that's serious. Certainly the precautions have been taken appropriately, and we hope that's over. But in the case of that young man, there's an injury that discovered something that was much more serious. It's going to get taken care of, and good to see.
Well, cast kind of a pall over the situation. It really puts it all in perspective that it is only a game, but the game goes on, and Griffey's got the carry after a lengthy delay to about the 26-yard line. So we are back and underway, and you certainly hope that everything turns out well for Jason Harmon there.
Always hard for a team to know exactly how to react to this. Sometimes teams get all fired up. Sometimes teams absolutely go into the hole. I would tend to think that Berwick would be one of those that would get fired up. But it, again, as you mentioned, Jed, does cast the pall over the game a little bit. And hopefully we'll get some good news before the game's over about the young man in concern.
Rutherford under center. Griffey's his lone setback. Perry has found some cracks, especially with this misdirection look. Oakes with it, but it's covered very, very well. Seth Flock, who's been on a couple of tackles. He's only 155 pounds, but he shoots through the lane that time to put out that fire after a gain of maybe 3 or 4.
Well, head coach Gus Cantonese for Perry seems reluctant to throw into the wind, and why not? It is very stiff, but he certainly wants to get the ball in the hands of Corey Oakes. And so he tries this misdirection. Corey Oakes comes from his wide out spot to take the handoff, but yeah, it's snuffed out right away by number 91, Larry Hook.
Rob Butler, handoff. Griffey again, steps forward, second effort. He's close to a first down. I'm not sure he got there, though. Maybe a yard shy. Tackle is made for Berwick by Leroy Spencer again. Boy, he's had a whale of a first half.
And that very same Leroy Spencer we were just talking about a moment ago, who has that brain tumor right now, is going to be operated on after the season, making the tackle there again. So Leroy Spencer making himself well known in the field tonight.
Big play here, 4th and 1.
4th and 1, Berwick muscles in. Rutherford, I don't think so. What a play that is. I think that's our man, Leroy Spencer, again in on the stop, snuffing out Rutherford. A loss on the play, and Berwick gets it back on downs.
Yeah, this is just a great play by Leroy Spencer. Look at him come in there, and what a textbook tackle that was. Number 28, Leroy Spencer, put his helmet right there on the hips of Rod Rutherford. Not an easy guy to bring down. Rod Rutherford, 6'3", 190 pounds. But Leroy Spencer had no trouble snuffing out the 4th and 1 attempt. Berwick takes over.
Well, that's 2 times they've been deep in Berwick territory and have come away empty-handed. One on a fumble and the other on downs. Pitch goes to Cody Hall. Hall's got a big hole to the 30-yard line, a gain of 5. Running that time behind big Gus Felder. Also Jim Henry. He's a big tight end. Mike O'Reilly getting credit for the stop. 2nd and 5 upcoming now for the Bulldogs.
There you see the Perry sidelines. It's a cold night here in Altoona. Game time temperature began at 26 degrees, but it's dropped since then.
Mark that up as the second time Perry's really knocked to the door and has been turned away now by Berwick, 2 out of 2.
Jeremy Chapin, what a fine career he's had. He and Hall converge on the snap, and then Perry crawls all over Chapin after the miscommunication at the line of scrimmage. Loss all the way back to about the 18-yard line. They're going to spot it closer to the 20.
Yeah, this is not how you operate out of the I formation at all. Jeremy Chapin, Cody Hall, obviously not on the same page. Botched handoff. They were just lucky that they didn't fumble the ball and put it on the floor, because you saw all the Perry defenders that came into that backfield immediately. So Jeremy Chapin did the right thing, just ate the ball, took the loss. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Looked a little bit more like a bad Arthur Murray studio look there. Two were kind of dancing along a little 3-step, and everyone said, oh, we'll stop this play now with a tackle.
Berwick calls timeout. And George Curry, head coach of the Berwick Bulldogs, out to talk to his team. There you see Coach Curry.
I can't imagine this is a really friendly discussion this time. He is not the guy you want to see coming out right now. George Curry is an offensive genius, if nothing else. And I think, one heck of a football coach, but he certainly knows what he wants. And that last play was not demonstrative of the kind of football that he's used to.
Yeah, that was one of the more ugly plays that Berwick has executed here in the first half of play. 8:53 to go in this second quarter. No score. Perry and Berwick vying for the AAA championship in the state of Pennsylvania.
I want to remind you this broadcast, underwritten by the dairy farmers of the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program, American Dairy Association, to remind you that hard work and good nutrition will improve your performance in the classroom and on the field. You need the right ingredients in your training program. Got milk? Still scoreless. Well, last year Berwick really jumped out against Blackhawk. Like 90 seconds into the game, it was 12-0. This year Perry has held on for now. Chapin back, plants, throws, pass incomplete. It'll be 4th and 9. Berwick will be forced to punt. I'm very impressed with Perry's spacing defensively. They really utilize their speed well, especially in that secondary.
Yeah, they sure do. They close very quickly, the Perry defenders in that secondary. As you look at the Berwick sidelines, Coach George Curry looking at his team turning over the ball after a big defensive stand that held off Perry. So now Perry's going to get the ball back again. They're going to get pretty good field position, too, probably right around the midfield area.
Chapin, almost getting in there. Nice high kick. And fielded calmly and well by Corey Oakes. So 8:42 remaining in the scoreless first half. This game's been kind of driving around on the wrong gas a little bit, Gary. I mean, waiting for a break here.
Well, it's been simply a game of field position so far, where everyone's making the safe moves early in the chess game. But you're going to see a few things start to happen here pretty soon. And right now, the most exciting team probably with the football on offense, and that's Perry Traditional Academy.
Rod Rutherford, motion man is Oakes. Berwick jumped off sides. Little impatient that time with John Ohl, 232-pound junior. We'll see if they saw movement by Perry, but I doubt it. Here's the preliminary.
We have a dead ball, illegal procedure on the offense, number 52.
Moving a little bit up there.
Well, we're getting ready to say the 3rd penalty for 25 yards for Berwick, but that will not be the case here, obviously.
What do they say at an auction? Don't scratch your head. If you're an offensive lineman, I guess don't move a thing.
I think they called the left guard, Hughes. I think they said he moved into neutral zone prior to the snap.
1st and 15 is certainly a tough way to begin. Now you give it off to Griffey, trying to get the corner, and Berwick's got his number all of a sudden.
And you know what? Now you're faced with long distance to go, 2nd down, and you've got the wind in your face. And this whole second quarter, Perry is going to be staring right at that wind, and it is fierce. As you look at Chuck Griffey being taken down, there's that J.D. Stanley again, the 6'3", 210-pound junior defensive end. He's having a fine first half of play for Berwick.
Right now it'll be 2nd, 15 yards to go. Rob Butler, he's a home run threat. Rutherford, play action. He's back. Keep in mind he can run as well as throw. This time he's got a lane. Big hole 5, 10, 15, and a first down to the Berwick 48-yard line. A gain of 17, and Rod Rutherford showing you why they'll be drooling over him next year at the highest level of Division I.
You know, he may remind Philadelphia Eagle fans of Randall Cunningham. He's got the number, he's got the build, and he's got the scrambling ability. Look at this. He just tucks the ball right up under and runs. And the big loping stride gets knocked out of bounds, but not after picking up a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 with the ball in Berwick territory at the 48.
Rutherford's thrown for a little more than 1,000 yards. Has 18 touchdowns on the season.
There's Chuck Griffey's stats. Griffey, 1,600 yards on the year. Look at that average per carry. And there's Rod Rutherford. Throwing for 1,036 yards.
Like that lightning bolt there. It kind of
reminds you a little bit of this team. They can strike you like a lightning bolt.
Kind of wish we had another stat page to look at. See that again. Rutherford now. 1st and 10 Perry. 2nd and 7 rather at the 45. This time it's Griffey trying to pick his way through. Avalanche. Dressed in white.
You know, Jed, sometimes this Berwick team gets painted as bruisers, but they're actually very, very quick, too. You can't afford, like Griffey did right there, to hesitate. They'll be on top of you like sharks right away.
Well, you got if you're going to run the lane, get up in there.
Yeah.
And don't hesitate. He who hesitates, he says, is lost, especially with guys like John Oler right there.
Or a guy like Tim Shetterly. They put him at nose tackle at times. He's 5'10", 195 pounds. But very, very fast.
That's a good point, Gary. With that speed and tenaciousness, you can also do some different stunting, which they have done.
Here comes Shetterly.
Rutherford in big-time trouble. Somehow dives out of it. Absolutely nowhere to go. He's still alive. Now Rutherford could go. 40, and one of the most sensational plays you'll ever see. Still going. 25, 20, all the way down to the 17-yard line. And an absolutely spectacular play. 30 yards. And he must have run 65 or 70, getting through everybody.
What?
That is one for the ages there. Incredible.
Is he an athlete or what? This is incredible.
Here's the first hit. 1.
There's number 33 for Berwick coming through.
He's gone. 2. This guy's a no-pest strip
3,
right here.
4.
John Spencer had his helmet right between his numbers.
There's 5 there.
You keeping a count here, Gary?
He's got 5. He's slipped so far.
My goodness, back to live action. Handoff, Butler on a wingback reverse. He's got the outside. Flag is down as he dives for a touchdown, or at the 1-yard line, but a flag is down and it looks like a hold at about the 15-yard line.
That inside reverse that they like to run so often, they've run it 5 times so far in this game, and one more time sending it around the corner with Rob Butler, but it's going to get called back this time on the hold.
Tell the truck to mark that tape for that replay. I have a feeling it'll be on just about every promo you can think of. That may be the greatest run I've seen in the 10 years of this tournament.
Well, you're looking at the guy.
I'm not stretching out too far. I mean, there have been some great plays, but that play right there, even though it didn't result in a score, is just incredible, breathtaking.
One time I saw a play called A Streetcar Named Desire. That might be a quarterback named Desire.
That was something else.
Desire, that got him out of that mess. But I'll tell you what, I have never seen anyone slip that many hard tackles in my life.
The clipping call will push the ball back to the 30-yard line.
You know, sometimes with a lot of that speed, guys, and you get the misdirection, you run into a clipping situation, and you got it there. That's a serious drive wrecker there.
Problem for Perry, though, they get inside the 30. It's like getting into Never Never Land. This is their 3rd thrust there, and not going particularly well so far.
Got to come away with something eventually. Now they're blitzing again. Rutherford throws on the run, and Oaks can't handle it. They're saying interference. They might tack some other stuff onto there as Charlie Reed, who came in for the injured Jason Harmon, is in on the coverage.
I believe Corey Getz came in and tipped the ball away. As you see, Rod Rutherford drop back, takes a deep drop.
Almost
and look at that arm strength. Yeah.
Tipping it was Brian Hosler rather.
The ball did get through. Actually, looked like the Perry receiver had a chance at it, but the Berwick defender all over the back. So, ball's going the other way. Could have unsportsmanlike conduct as well.
Charlie Reed was wrapped all around him, but a great play in front of him there. It looked like Brian Hostler diving across, maybe getting a hand on the ball. Now, if he touched the ball, all bets are off right there, unless it is unsportsmanlike.
Interference is the call to the 15-yard line. Perry's got to come away with points here. They've been in 3 times and have been turned away 2 of the 3. They are currently on the march, courtesy of that 30-yard run by Rutherford, who's under center now. Handoff goes to Griffey, big hole, boom, to the 5. Griffey, standing touchdown. And Perry draws first blood, 5:33 to go, as Griffey burst through from 15 yards out. And I mean, he got an incredible block from the center that time. Arlett, David Arlett, 220 pounds, blew it open.
Arlett, Bryant, the right guard, yeah, they blew open a nice hole, and Griffey went into the end zone. He wasn't touched until he got to about the 2-yard line, and by that time he was in. Here's the touchdown once again, and there you see about the 2 or 3 finally gets a hand laid on him, but all for naught. He's into the end zone for the first score of the ball game. 6-0 Perry.
Tell you what, that was impressive. Snap is down. The kick is important and good. Jared Pauly. They're not automatic on the high school level, a kicking game a lot of the time, and Perry has the lead with 5 minutes and 33 seconds to go. It's 7-0, and I'd love to see that play before we get this kickoff. Rutherford's 30-yard run, I'll tell you what, that was a momentum builder too.
That was one for the agent.
That'll really rev up a ball club.
That's right, because Berwick had Rutherford dead to rights. They knew it, and, you know, just the tremendous athleticism from the Perry quarterback set up that drive, set up that touchdown. Here's the play. Just watch this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, off. Unbelievable.
And then just picks his way down the field.
Man, oh man.
Wonderful run.
Number 32, John Spencer of Berwick.
You know who made the tackle? Jeremiah Dyer. You know who hit him first? Jeremiah Dyer.
Yeah.
60 yards away. That only netted 30 yards, but he ran 60.
Boy, and a couple of those guys, like I was saying, John Spencer, hey, those guys had clean shots at Rutherford and just couldn't wrap him up. He's very difficult to tackle. He's a shifty type of runner, and he's a lanky guy, 190 pounds, 6'3".
He was also on special teams.
Yeah.
High kick, fielded by Melchiori, 25-20. Melchiori still going to the 40-yard line. Good return by Melchiori. Good enough for 25 yards. And Berwick's got good field position. 2 timeouts. And I'll tell you what, they have done really nothing on offense. There may be a couple of things here or there, but they've been out of whack in this whole first half.
Well, 2 of the last 3 possessions has basically been 3 and out. They need to establish some kind of rhythm right now and get into some kind of methodical approach to this game offensively.
Big Roy James, he's in, powering the eye. Cody Hall's got it. Hall to the outside, has about 5 yards before he's tripped up.
Looks like George Curry's going to simplify things a little bit here on this drive with about 5 minutes to go in this first half of play. Maybe
there's nothing subtle about this. This power eye high, we're jamming it down your throat. Deal.
That's right.
There's 99.
Flip it to your man back there, Cody Hall, and let the big boys up front clear the way. And that's basically what you saw right there. 5 minutes to go in this second quarter as Berwick breaks the huddle. 2nd and 5 at the 45.
You've got to think that Perry has earned the offensive respect of Berwick. They'd like to keep that offense off the field a little bit while too.
Well, the blitz was coming. Now bouncing out of it's Melchiori. Coffee quick to the outside. Positive yardage and a first down. Dives to the 49. Good play by Melchior. Now, coach always, sometimes if you're out of whack, play to your strength. George Curry's doing that now. A little power eye, a little power football.
Yeah, look at Melchiori. He takes his hand off, and he starts it up the middle, but there's number 35, Nate Brown, and he just plugs the hole. So Melchiori improvises here. Just a great job. And look how he stretches to the sticks. He had to get across the 50. He did just that. Great run by Melchior.
People always think about George Curry's teams as great quarterback-oriented teams, but they're great running back-oriented teams, too. And right now he's going to use Melchiori and Hall to the best of their abilities in trying to run that clock a little bit, keep that offense from Perry off the field.
Melchiori into the secondary, has a big hole and walloped. There's Corey Oakes. Better be careful, you get an unsportsmanlike call there.
Difference right now, though, is you're seeing a Berwick team getting 4 and 5 and 6 yards on the first down instead of getting to that third down where they need the 4 or 5 or 6 yards. so they're getting bigger chunks of yardage right away and running between the tackles again.
Yeah, look at that. The tackles are just standing up the defensive line of Perry, and a big hit, big run by Berwick.
Double wide, Chapin pulled it back out of there, and then there's a wave of blue and an undertow with a loss back to midfield. Loss of 5, 3rd and 5, or 3rd and 10 rather, upcoming for the Bulldogs. It's getting late. There's your time remaining in the second quarter.
There's that hesitation again we talked about earlier, and neither team can ill afford to have hesitation at all. They're both too well skilled and too quick not to take advantage of that when you stop and try to look around.
Well, I think speed is something you cannot hesitate anywhere near. It doesn't matter what sport you're playing, especially football or basketball. Right now they're faced with 3rd, we'll call it 7. Ball at the 47 as Chapin is back. He looks, he throws, intercepted Oaks. He's got a clear lane. 40, Oaks 30, bringing it 20, home 10, 5, and that's a touchdown for Corey Oaks. All the way and good, and it's 13-0 Perry. Conversion coming up the sideline for 60-plus yards.
Corey Oaks read that and saw it coming the whole way. You watch it. The quarterback looks at him, sets him up, and Oaks plays him for the interception the entire way.
Berwick had a formation where they had 2 wideouts to each side of the field. 4 wideouts in the formation, and Oaks just read Chapin's eyes the whole time. Chapin was looking at that intended receiver from the time he snapped the ball.
Snap down, the kick is up, and it's good. Oh my goodness, 2:59 to go. Officially a 60-yard interception return by Corey Oaks.
Here you're going to see it again, and let's watch the Berwick coach, George Curry, on the sidelines. There you see him. He takes his hat up on the top of his head.
Oh.
He says, oh my. He's scratching his head. He knew Corey Oaks was gone. This guy may be one of the fastest guys on the field. There you see Corey Oaks. Just took 160 yards into the end zone for a touchdown. And George Curry watched Corey Oaks run right by him, and he knew he was gone, and he knew his Berwick Bulldogs were going to be down 2 touchdowns now with under 3 minutes to play in this first half.
A 100-yard interception return, poisoned a title run in 1989. A 60-yard interception return has given Perry control of this tilt at 14-0.
And Jeremy Chapin having a tough time of it here in the second quarter. He's 0 for 5 in his last 5 attempts. 2 of them have been intercepted.
Darnell Farrow is the name that people remember from 1989, a guy that returned the 100-yard touchdown. And Corey Oaks is the name they're remembering tonight right now as he puts up 14 points for his team, and they lead 14-zip, 2:59 to go in the first half.
One thing you don't want to do is kick the ball out of bounds. That'll give you 1st and 10 at the 35. So Berwick, good field position again, but with the speed of Perry, I don't think it really matters. That is, tell you what, he did bait Chapin into that all the way. He hung out 2-3 yards behind.
Chapin was locked in on that receiver, and he picked it clean.
Kept his fishing hole a secret, and boom.
The old play you make when you're playing that pickup game out in the side lot there and just waiting for the guy to throw it.
Because Chapin, I mean, he did the drugstore camera on him. I mean, totally telegraphed it and paid. Here's a big rip by Hall, close to a first down to the 45-yard line. It's right at the chain. Berwick feeling a sense of urgency now. A little bit of attitude in their step here.
Here out of the I formation, Cody Hall takes the pitch. Look at the blocking up front. They're just pushing the Perry defensive unit back.
Not that Perry doesn't play as a team, but they are mano-a-mano at every position because of that blinding speed we've talked about. They're not afraid to play a man-for-man because they figure my speed's better than yours. I'll beat you every time.
Right, we'll get there first. Exactly.
Handoff goes to Hall again to the outside. Tries to get the corner. Again, there's Corey Oaks in on the stop again. You know, you look at this guy. He's a legit 4.3, maybe a 4.4 40 guy, and look at how he just totally closes off the corner.
Yeah, he sure does. And look who comes up to make the stop out of the free safety position, number 12, Rod Rutherford. He closed very quickly. Helmet to helmet. That's football there, my friends. Good hard-hitting game here tonight. 14-0, Perry over Berwick. 2 minutes to go in this first half of play.
James and Hall. Pitch goes to Hall, running behind James. But that door closed in a hurry. And again, who got the tackle over there on the far side? We're going to say Ray Miller, 6 foot, 205-pound senior. Well, sometimes height and weight can be all overrated, Gary. You don't measure what's under the shirt a little bit, and Perry's really playing with a lot of heart in this first half.
Oh, great heart in the first half, but they also are playing to their strengths. We talked at the beginning about doing what you do well. Perry is doing what they do well, which is take their speed and get out there after you right away and put the heat on you aggressively.
All right. I mean, Perry hasn't flinched with all this movement. Melchiori to the outside, gets out of bounds after getting the first down. A gain of about 5 on the play. Melchiori's running well in this first half, Mark. He's got some nice bolt to him.
Yes, he is. And it's a very good defense that he's running against. Everybody mentions the Berwick defense, 8 shutouts throughout the year. Now, the Perry defense, they have posted 9 shutouts throughout the season. And, you know, from August 29th through October 16th, a span of 8 games, this Perry defense gave up a total of 12 points. Amazing. They're shutting out Berwick right here.
Seth Fluke is into the game. It's getting late, too, as Chapin is back. Chapin feeling some heat, throws onto the gun, and Fluke can't hang on. That's a tough play. Think about trying to catch some luggage out of a third-floor window. That's about what that football feels like tonight.
You know, we were talking about the stats for Perry. Conversely, for Berwick, only one team scored 14 points for them in the last 8 games, and that's been Wyoming area.
I think we're going to have roughing the quarterback here.
Yeah, Jeremy Chapin.
Jeremy
Chapin took a lick. There is no question about that. Very close call, but yeah, they're going to back him up.
They're going to move this 15 yards.
Yep.
Oh, that's like a turnover right there. I mean, you just cannot make mistakes like that. And I can bet you Gus Catanese is fit to be tied right now because they really had control of this game. Momentum-wise, it's getting late. Berwick feeling the heat. And they're going all the way at the 28.
The snow's starting to pick up, and keep in mind, Berwick has the wind to their back, so that's why you see Jeremy Chapin fading back and trying to set up some aerial patterns.
Double wide, blitz is coming, Chapin throws, little off balance for Melchiori, touchdown! Melchiori got a step on Oaks, touchdown, Berwick. They're right back in it. One play after a roughing the quarterback turns momentum around.
Watch Jeremy Chapin stay in the pocket here, and he's going to get nailed. Watch him throw it. Gets nailed right after he throws a beautiful pass and right on the money.
My mistake, that's Chris Banyas, his 10th touchdown catch of the year. Tough picking up these numbers that far away.
Here it is again. Quarterback gets hit, but gets it away, lays it out there nicely, and Banyas says, thank you very much. I'll take that in if you don't mind.
Only need 1 foot down.
That was a nice catch by Banyas.
Jared Bryson, Berwick, always good kicking games. Bryson sneaks it through there without a problem. So the minute 3 to go. Big turnaround, that penalty right there, because Perry really had Berwick behind the 8 ball a little bit and had this game by the throat.
Back to the 28-yard touchdown pass. Banyas not only had to position himself so that he could catch that ball, he more or less screened the defender off the ball, too. It was a very, very skillful reception by Chris Banyas. As you look at the crowd, you can see the snow coming down, and it's picking up here in the second quarter with about 1 minute 3 seconds to go in the first half of play at Mansion Park in Altoona. Berwick's on the board, 14-7. Perry over Berwick.
Minute 3 to go. 14-7 the score. Chapin will kick off, and with all the speed for Perry, don't go anywhere. Coming under it right now, this is Grimmett. Good coverage downfield for Berwick. Always play well on special teams. Jeremiah Dyer is the first man down there. Also Brian Hosler, 5'11" senior.
Yeah, here you're going to see this specialty team play on the part of the Berwick Bulldogs. Grimmett takes the ball about his own 18-yard line, and watch this stick. Oh.
It'll be interesting to see the approach here in the last 59 seconds for this team, which is not the most patient offensive team you ever saw out there.
Griffey, he just had he has one of the touchdowns. Little double wing back reverse to Oaks. This time, step around move. Oh, he's got it wide open on the corner. Look out here. He's got the 35, 40. Oaks running very strong to the 43-yard line. We'll see if they burn a timeout. They stopped the clock. 46 seconds, as you see. This is a great run by Oaks.
It sure is. These Perry guys can improvise like no one I've ever seen. Look at this. This play is basically broken down. It's snuffed out. Jeremy Dyer stringing it along. There's Tim Shutterly. These guys have it snuffed out. So what's Corey Oaks do? He improvises. He turns it back the other night. Watch the block that the quarterback, Rod Rutherford, throws on J.D. Stanley, and that enables the Perry people to get a first down on the play. Corey Oaks, another fine run. A lot of it on his own. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line for Perry. Here you're going to see it again. Everything's stacked up. So Corey Oaks says, I'm going to change direction. There's some open field over here. And watch this block from the quarterback, Rod Rutherford, right there on the defensive end. Hard hit. And that's your quarterback out there throwing hits like that around. It's a very talented, skillful team. You know, Perry's noted for their speed, and they are a very fast team, but you know, this is still a game of football, and you have to hit, and that's the basis of the game. And there you saw some hitting going on in that play.
So with 46 seconds to go, Oaks with a 12-yard run and a first down. That's given Perry ideas that they might be able to get into the area again here. Lone setback is Griffey. Rutherford back, quick throw, caught over the middle that time. Ramon Edison, he's a quick one to the 48-yard line. Clock continues. Stop it with 41.
It only took 5 seconds off the clock. That was a quick hitter. Got a foot to a first down.
Clock has been stopped. There's a malfunction with the clock. They should have kept it going. George Curry is saying it should have been that way. See what they do about it. They're going to take some seconds off.
George Curry's 5 yards out onto the field. He wants more time off that clock than just 38 seconds, as it's showing now. Referees are going to come over to talk to
talk from up there through your mic.
Gus Katniss,
Aye.
Perry sidelines.
Then wait for my wine.
Clock remains at 38 seconds.
Because it's only second down. It was not first down, so there's no reason to stop the clock there.
Right.
I think they were waiting for a new football.
If we can get over to the far side, you're going to see George Curry discussing things with the lineman. He wants to make sure that he gets his say as well. Now they're taking it down to 34, 33, 32, 31. And it's 31 where they decide it's going to stop.
Well, that snow is like squalls across that field. It's not comfy. I mean, you can feel it.
And the wind is beginning to swirl a little bit. We had a definite pattern to the wind in the first half of play throughout much of the first half, and that was coming from right to left on your television screen. But now you're getting some swirling action, which you can see in the snow on the field. Some of the residue snow on the field is beginning to swirl around. So the wind seems to be changing directions here in the last couple of moments of this ball game. As you look at Mansion Park in Altoona, the snow is picking up. 34 seconds now back on the clock, so it went from 41 to 31 back to 34, and that's where we're going to settle on it.
So after that delay, we're back into action. Rutherford back, has time, looking. Can he unload into the wind? It's a jump ball downfield. Oaks is there, and it's almost intercepted and dropped.
Can you believe the arm strength?
Wow, he threw that 60 yards in the air.
Into the wind.
Yeah.
Rod Rutherford. He really aired that one out. And that was a bullet. That thing knifed right through the wind. Perfect spiral. Here you're going to see the deep drop. He's well beyond midfield. And look at that thing fly through the air, through the snow. And that's headed
nice
to the 2-3 yard line.
He's the R&R guy, and anything but rest and relaxation when he's out there. You've got to make sure you're on your toes all the time, as he was looking for Oaks for the big strike again.
20 seconds.
Ron Edison is into the game at a wide receiver position. Single coverage. They've got some matchup problems. Berwick does.
Showing blitz.
Rutherford back. Now they dump it off. They get the screen. Oh, here we go with Griffey. 40. And inside there to about the 37-yard line, and they'll call a timeout with 11 seconds remaining. That'll be their final timeout.
That play was set up very nicely. It was a screen. Griffey got behind his blockers. Rutherford, nice soft toss out there. And look at this. Look at Griffey use his blockers right there. He had to wait.
Akbar.
Yeah, had to wait for Akbar. He did, got the block, picked up positive yardage, another first down at the Berwick 38-yard line. Great piece of running.
On that play, Suleiman was you the man instead of Suleiman, right? As he led the way.
Suleiman was the man. There's number 74, kick out block. And that set things up. He ran behind his wall and picked up the first down on the play. 11 seconds to go. Perry has marched all the way to the Berwick 38-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for the Commodores of Perry.
Jeb, we might be coming up with the most fun play of the first half here on the final play in the last 11 seconds.
Yeah, you're going to want to stick around and watch what these guys come up with. It's 11 seconds to go.
Well, the most likely scenario is that they'll throw it in the end zone and hope for a jump ball or a tip and it finds a home. Or Rod Rutherford runs through about 80 guys and scores a touchdown.
Even a broken play can be improvised into a touchdown from these guys. They are that talented.
Back goes Rutherford now. Looking. Throws one off balance and just throws it out of bounds. And now they've got to go. Oh, they're going to call it grounding now. Because there's nobody home over there near the 40-yard line.
Well, I think the coaching staff of Perry is indicating that Ramon Edison was in the vicinity, the 15-yard line. Now, that ball clearly went out of bounds. There's no question about that. But the coaching staff of Perry trying to lobby their case with the officials, saying, hey, we had a man at the 15. There was Edison right there.
Here's the problem for a left-handed quarterback rolling to the near side, too. He could never get his shoulders turned. And the Berwick kids did a great job of staying on that left shoulder, never really let him get around to see the rest of the field, and he was forced to throw it out in the near sideline. That's the bad news. The good news is we have one more play to go here in the first half with 5 seconds, and I think you'll see another bomb.
Well, we certainly know Rod Rutherford has the arm strength to get it down there, even though the penalty has pushed Perry back beyond midfield.
Berwick showing blitz. And now I think they're going to call too much time. Kind of a sluggish end to this first half here.
The half cannot conclude on an accepted penalty. We will have one untimed play to finish the first half.
One more play to end the half. It's been interesting. We'll get all our scores here in like about a 4-minute window of the second quarter.
4.5 minutes, 3 scores.
There's Rutherford. Going to throw it out to Oakes, who's going to unload long for Ellison downfield and incomplete, and that'll do it. Well, we've reached halftime with our score. Perry 14, the 3-time defending state champion Berwick 7. Exciting first half indeed. Great first half. We'll tally the numbers for you, show you some first half highlights, and return with third quarter action after this timeout.
Welcome back to Mansion Park in Altoona, where the AAA PIAA State Championship in high school football has been an entertaining one in the first half of play. 14-7, Perry over Berwick. Here we look at some of the stats. First downs, Berwick just 5, Perry 10. 184 yards rushing for Perry in that first half of play as opposed to 55 for Berwick. The passing yardage and 2 completions for both quarterbacks, Rod Rutherford and Jeremy Chapin. It's a very difficult night to throw here at Mansion Park. The winds are very stiff. Total yards, 203 for Perry. Half of that, 95 for Berwick. And the turnovers, 2 turnovers for Berwick, 1 very critical. We're going to see it in a matter of moments. It's been a somewhat sloppy first half of play. 7 penalties, totaling 85 yards for both teams. Now, looking at some of the first half highlights we've got a lot of highlights to look at as well. Here we're going to see Rob Butler, the fine tailback. He's number 20. He's going to rip off a long run in the first quarter. Butler finished the first half of play with 4 carries, good enough for 60 yards. Look at that stiff arm as he scampers down the sidelines, and there another Berwick defender gets another face full of Rob Butler. Another good carry from Rob Butler. 4 carries for 60 yards. Now, we're going to see Rod Rutherford's interception. Jeremy Chapin back to pass, looking for a receiver, and watch Rod Rutherford. He's a free safety for Perry. He's just going to hang back. The ball is overthrown, and there's Rod Rutherford, number 12, at the free safety spot, and he takes it upfield. Rod Rutherford did a lot for Perry in this first half of play. He's the quarterback, he's the free safety, and we're going to see an amazing run from Rod Rutherford right here. It's a 30-yard run. It is just absolutely incredible. Watch how many tackles he shakes. There's 1. There's 2. A third Berwick defender will hit him right here. That's John Spencer. 3, 4. And Rod Rutherford takes it upfield. It'll be a 30-yard gain in all. Rod Rutherford had an incredible first half, 5 carries out of the quarterback spot for a total of 50 yards. But this, the most amazing of the night, he turned what looked to be disaster into a 30-yard gain. He's still rambling, and he's still breaking tackles. Rod Rutherford, an absolutely amazing run. Now we're going to see Perry's touchdown run from Chuck Griffey from 15 yards out. Chuck Griffey just finds a hole, and he gets into the Berwick secondary, and there he's into the end zone virtually untouched from 15 yards out. That's his 10th playoff touchdown of the season. 8 carries for 40 yards for Chuck Griffey. Then Perry scored once again a couple of minutes later. Corey Oakes, a 60-yard touchdown on an interception return. Oakes just baiting quarterback Jeremy Chapin of Berwick, making him throw the ball, playing a little bit off the receiver, cut in front of the receiver, and scampered untouched 60 yards downfield. That came at the 2:59 mark of the second quarter. Berwick got on the board about 2 minutes later. 1:03 go in the first half of play. A 28-yard touchdown pass from Jeremy Chapin to Chris Banyas, and watch that catch over the shoulder. A beautiful catch to keep his feet in the end zone, and that's where we're at, 14-7 in what has been a very entertaining first half of play. Gary Sutton is down on the field. Gary?
And with a truly special guest down here, we celebrate high school sports this weekend with the Pennsylvania Football State Championships. And with me, Elliot Hopkins, Assistant Executive Director of the PIAA. Elliot, this is not the only championship, but certainly one that's got to warm your heart with all the hard work you put in during the weekend.
Well, Gary, you're right. Now, this is one of the 46 championships we run in the course of a school year. So this is an important one for us because it pretty much closes the book for the fall championships.
Elliot, an awful lot to celebrate here as far as high school sports, sportsmanship, true honor on the field. A lot of kids out there giving their best, coaches as well, and fans as well. And you're the guy, along with Brad Cashman, Bob Lombardi, who help to make that happen every year.
Yeah, you know, we're really proud of all the kids here. There are no losers when you get to this level because being number 1, number 2 in the state of Pennsylvania, after 540 schools play all year long to get to this level, this is a great accomplishment for both schools.
Elliot, from a PIAA standpoint, what do you look for every year at all the championships that you run when you step away and you finally say, you know, this is what I wanted, this is what was important?
We want to make sure that the schools and the players had a good experience, that the facilities were top-notch, and that we had a good feeling overall that everybody had a good assessment and had a good experience.
Certainly Altoona's been a wonderful place for these football championships over the year. I know there are other bids in next year because this is the last year of the contract, but certainly a wonderful place to play. A lot of great people here, Tom Bradley and all his people, and along with the PIAA, it has gone very, very well here in Altoona.
You know, we can't say much about, any more about Altoona and the hospitality. They've been great. The school just has been fantastic in supporting our efforts. Who knows about the future, but boy, we've had a nice run right here, and they've been really great to us.
Well, Elliot, I know no matter where it is next year, you, Bob, and Brad Cashman, and all the good people of the PIAA, and all the great volunteers out here will put on another great show and provide another wonderful atmosphere for high school sports to take place in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you're right. We're looking forward to it, wherever it may be in the next several years. We're glad WIT for supporting us. We're glad the milk people are supporting us, Pennsylvania Dairies. We're just really thrilled about this.
Well, we got to get to a good second half here. Elliot, thanks for stopping by, and again, congratulations on a great job.
Hey, thank you. Stay warm.
Elliot Hopkins, back up to you guys.
All right, Gary Sutton talking with Elliot Hopkins. Well, 14-7. Perry's speed has been as advertised. I think the one thing that we were looking for was how this field might hold up and slow it down. So far, it has not done so.
No, it has not. And if you walk out on that field prior to the game, now I know it has been at least an hour and a half since kickoff, and it seems that there's maybe a little bit more snow on the field. But this field has held up very well throughout the first half of play. But you know what has impressed me, not only about this first half of football, but about Perry in particular, is the ability of their skill people to improvise. When things look like they break down completely, these guys have the ability to turn that into positive yardage and sometimes a big play.
So the second half kickoff is going to go to Berwick, end over end. And here we go. Looks like James Snowell, and he's got a pretty good return across the 35 to about 37-yard line, and that's where Berwick will start at 1st and 10. Well, that one roughing the passer penalty against Perry. They had this game by the throat, leading 14-0.
Here we're going to see the return. Pretty good field position for Berwick.
Jeff Marshman, the junior, there on the return.
As Snowell plows into the pile, and Berwick will set up shop for their first offensive possession of the second half at their own 38-yard line.
Kip McCabe is into the game. Handoff. And boy, did they have that covered well. Kevin Williams, the first on the stack for Perry Traditional.
Well, there you see the moon amid the flurries here in Altoona.
Means we can get everything here. Clear skies, snow, little of this, little of that. That's good work by our camera crews. Just done a great job.
You really get
they
the
stand
feeling.
and deliver in these weather elements just like the players do.
Yeah, that's right.
Into the game now, James Snowell. He's a wide receiver, pretty dangerous player. Seth Fluke is in as well. He's off your screen as you get a close-up look at Jeremy Chafer. 3 wide now to the bottom. Quick opener over the middle. McCabe, he was bobbling it on the way through, and incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 9.
That was a nice play. McCabe was the trailing receiver. He dragged 2 receivers in a seam right behind the linebackers. McCabe with the trailing receiver. The ball hit McCabe in the hands, and as you can see here, ball should have been caught. Ball's incomplete, however. That was a nice play design by the Berwick Bulldogs. Get some blockers out in front.
It chilled Gary Sutton soon to join back in. 11-11 to go in the 3rd quarter. All ones. They need a first down to keep the drive alive. Under the gun is Chapin, and incomplete. Good pressure, good coverage downfield. Pass intended again for Seth Fluke. And I'll tell you, Chapin has really been on the run tonight.
Well, he has. The pocket collapsed on Jeremy Chapin very quickly, as you're going to see here. But Chapin's looking left, and Chapin had 2 receivers. This is a coverage thing here where Perry has excellent coverage on the receivers. Actually, that was not one of the intended receivers that had split out wide. That was the tight end coming across the middle, just trying to give Chapin a little bit of help because he knew his receivers intended or were covered downfield.
Chapin on the punt. Good kick. And over end. Fair catch is made by Corey Oakes at about the 27. Gary?
Got to tell you guys, a little weather update down there. It is as cold as I ever remember for a football game here at Altoona. Last year it snowed on Friday night, and on Saturday had to take it off the field. It was not as cold then as it is now, and the wind chill has got to be putting it down in the low teens. And you can see the field right now starting to freeze up a little bit down there. You're going to see some slipping and sliding before this one's over.
Which would really affect Perry more than Berwick because of the speed advantage. The motion man is Ken Grimmett. Handoff, second man through. Griffey to the 30-yard line and spun down after a short gain of 2. Tackle is made by Jason Koch, 6'2", 202-pound defensive end. Not much room to roam here.
No. Berwick does a nice job of standing up the offensive line, and that was a great tackle there. The Berwick defender. Gain of only 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Perry. Their first possession of the second half. 14-7. Perry with the lead in what has been a tremendously entertaining ball game.
Keep in mind, Perry going against the wind. Little pitch back. Big hole for Griffey to the outside. Has 5, maybe 6 to about the 36 before he's chopped down. Nice play that time, Brian Hosler. Also, Jeremiah Dyer. He's been on a bunch of tackles so far.
There you're going to see the pitch to Griffey. And you know what he does? He cuts right inside the defensive end. J.D. Stanley, you couldn't really see that, but Stanley went wide. Griffey cut inside, and picked up 6 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 2.
And the key to that pitch is for the quarterback to bring the man over to him and then to dish the ball off to open up that space to the outside for that running back.
Perry with a 14-7 lead and the ball, facing 3rd and 2. Come around the other way with Oaks, trying to get up into the lane. He's going to be short of the first down. Good gang tackling effort. Jason Koch, Jeremiah Dyer in on the play. Also there, Larry Hook. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. Good junior group for Berwick. There shouldn't be much of a drop-off next year.
Yeah, watch Jeremiah Dyer just plug the hole there. And there's Tim Shetterling, too.
J.D. Stanley's there.
Yeah, that was a good
You can call a
pursuit.
bunch of names. I mean, they play attack defense.
They do.
I mean,
Great
gang
pursuit.
defense.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see the two styles because for Perry, you've got that mano-a-mano approach. I can take you on myself. With Berwick, they come at you with a whole bunch of people to bring you down.
Boy, Perry had to burn a timeout because somebody was late getting onto the field. That really, really could hurt you.
There you see.
Gus Catanese, want to remind you, this broadcast, underwritten by the dairy farmers of the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program and the American Dairy Association, to remind you that your body needs strong muscles, steady nerves, and quick energy to compete in today's athletics. Your body needs the right fuel. Got milk?
You have milk down there right now, it'd be a milkshake because I'll tell you, it is some kind of cold down that field.
Jet frozen milk at this point. I'll
You got
tell you,
that?
it's cold.
I'll tell you what, catching punts in this type of weather is going to be an adventure. You not only have to deal with the cold and the wind, but you're going to have to look up into some snow squalls through the second half.
Jared Cawley's a left footer, too, so it's a backward eye and flags it down again, all over the place. Everybody saw the same thing. 4 flags, 1 call.
I think they're going to back Perry up a little bit. I think there was some illegal procedure on the part of the Perry Commodores.
Well, that'll drive a coach nuts. You get a timeout, hopefully get organized, then boom, illegal procedure right afterward. He had to burn the timeout in the first place.
You always wonder as a coach if they hate you after that because they screw up the play for you.
And you saw Coach Gus Catanese moments ago. He was clearly not happy with his club during the timeout. He gave him a little bit of a chewing out. What happens? Well, they go and commit an illegal procedure penalty and back up even more.
What I was going to say about Jared Pauley, he's a left footer, so you get a backward rotation on the ball. And in this weather, who knows? Wobbly snap, but he gets it underway. Bad 9-iron shot that'll take a Perry bounce safely to about the 33-yard line. Good kick by Pauley, away from everybody.
Right, not a bad punt, not a bad idea to keep it low, keep it out of that wind, because the wind would be blowing in the face of the Perry punter, but he kept it low, so lessen the effect of the wind, so to speak. Berg will set up shop at their own 34-yard line. Look at the socks on. That's Gus Felder, the big 300-pounder, number 79.
Little stars and stripes look there.
Yeah, maybe there's some good luck socks, or maybe they're warmer than the normal socks. Who knows?
Hand off, second man through Melchior. He ran pretty well in the first half. This time they bottle him up. They made some adjustments at halftime to block that middle a bit. Ken Grimmett is in on the stop.
Look at this tackle by Ken Grimmett. This is just a textbook tackle.
Look at the hole and just shut down.
Yeah, he just stuck his head right there on his hips. That's how they teach you to do it. Ken Grimmett closed the door on the play. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Berwick.
Chris Banyas, who has the touchdown catches into the game now, split out one-on-one with Oaks. Now they're going to put 3 wide receivers up toward the top of your screen. 4 wideouts. Chapin, quick drop ball is tipped into the air, and it is intercepted. A defensive lineman's dream, and I didn't get a number on it. It's going to be Suleiman Akbar, who got the interception. This is going to be fun to watch.
This is a tremendously athletic play by Suleiman Akbar. He not only has to find the ball, but he has to haul it in before it hits the ground. Watch this. It's tipped by number 57, and then Suleiman Akbar found it, hauled it in right before it hit the ground. The tip.
Big break for Perry now.
And the interception.
Going into the wind, leading 14-7.
And truly another play where Suleiman is the man.
Well, Jeremy Chapin, 1 of his last 8 attempts has been complete. 3 of his last 8 attempts have been intercepted.
Motion man, going to be a double wingback reverse right into a host of Berwick defenders. Schechterly is the first guy there. You know, he's 195 pounds, plays nose tackle, What does he do? He makes plays. This is what heart and desire does for you.
Schechterle read this thing perfectly. He came into the backfield, and he had a read on that play. By the time Rob Butler got to Schechterle, that play was all but snuffed out. Loss of 7 on the play. Big play by Tim Schechterle. It'll be 2nd and 17 for Perry.
J.D. Stanley is also there. That's a big loss. That's a huge play defensively. That play took a little too long to develop. Now watch Rutherford. He's dangerous with his feet. Zings it wide and incomplete. And sliding safely into home plate is Ramon Edison downfield. It is really getting slick out there.
Yeah, there you saw it. You saw players sliding all over the place. You can see the
snow accumulating a little bit on the field.
There's Leroy Spencer. Here we're going to look at Rod Rutherford's numbers throughout the year as we take a gander at the Perry sidelines. Rod Rutherford, number 12, he does it all. In 14 games, 54 completions for 136 yards. So that's about 20 yards per completion. He throws the home run ball. Good enough for 17 touchdowns on the season.
He's also, from my understanding, close to 1,000 yards rushing. He's back again. Now throws it up. It's a jump ball. Oaks is there. He's got the football inside the 20 to the 18. Oh, is this Corey Oaks a player on either side of the football? Jump ball situation. First down, Perry, and they're moving again.
Well, what did we just say about the home run ball? There we just saw it. We took the numbers from the page, and you saw it right here as it's coming into your living room. The tremendous arm strength of Rod Rutherford. Keep in mind that is going into the wind. And Corey Oaks did a great job in positioning himself between the two Berwick defenders to come down with the reception. 1st and 10 on the Berwick 18-yard line.
24-yard pass and catch. Rutherford now give it off Griffey. Tries to bolt to the outside. He's still going. Slithers through and winds it to the 15-yard line. Tough gain of 3. Gary?
You talk about that last completion, though. That was an interception that turned into a big-time catch. You know, you had a guy standing back there, Charlie Reed, that was getting ready to haul that one in, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere comes Oaks. Here it is again. This is a different play this time, as
That's
you
Chuck
see Griffey trying to get to the outside. But great athletes can turn in bad plays to good plays.
Even a field goal here would help Perry. It's a 2-score game at that point, the way their defense has played so far. Rutherford under center. It's 2nd down and 7. Rutherford looking, passing, as a man open right through the wickets at the 5-yard line. Ramon Edison had it. Now we're going to see the pass play again. Sorry, fellas.
No problem. You watch here. You got Rutherford just throws it up there. It really was not a very good pass.
No.
And what turned it into a great pass was this young man right here. It just scouted it out and ran underneath and said, "I'll take that if you don't mind." Corey Oaks.
Got in front of Charlie Reed that time. Got position in the jump ball. That's one of those passes. No. Oh, okay.
And then the coach says after the game, we work on that every day.
Big play, 3rd and 7.
In motion goes Rob Butler now. Back goes Rutherford. Blitz is coming. Rutherford in all kinds of trouble this time. They're not going to let him get away. He's all the way back to the 32-yard line. Jeremiah Dyer, J.D. Stanley, and Schechterle are all around the play, and also Leroy Butler.
Yeah, look at Jeremiah Dyer, number 33. He shed his blocker right away, really wrecked that play. Got some help from his buddies, Schechterle and J.D. Stanley. But Jeremiah Dyer came in on the blitz from the linebacker spot. They brought the whole house that time. And this time, Rod Rutherford had no escape route. And it looks like...
Well, 4th down.
They're going to go for it.
Hollidaysburg, 22 yards to go. They'll need the 8-yard line. These are the kind of plays, though, if you get them, you can break an opponent down. Blitz is coming again. Rutherford throws it out to Oaks. He's got a lane inside of the 25, but Berwick is all over him. He's going to be well short of a 1st down, and Berwick hopes to build off of this now. Trailing by 7, their defense comes up big after giving up the big pass, and their fans sense that this is the time and the window of opportunity in this game.
Well, this time Berwick turns to the blitzing kind of defense, put the pressure on the quarterback, make him rush, and that's exactly what they did to turn Perry away just one more time.
Yeah, Berwick's defense did look a little bit more aggressive in this particular series of downs, a lot more blitzing.
Cody Hall's going to get the pitch. He has not gotten really loose. This time he gets to the outside. Hall, nice yardage. He pounds and winds to the 33-yard line. A gain of 7 on first down. Average yards on first down, the most compelling stat to look at. Berwick getting a large chunk there, looking at 2nd and 2 now. Is Hall running behind big Roy James.
6 foot, 250-pound Roy James, and Cody Hall, he has the pleasure of running behind Roy James all season long, and that's what he's done. 983 yards, an average of 7 yards per carry, and 17 touchdowns.
Hall's going to get it again this time. Negotiates his way for short yardage. It's going to be short of a first down. He's about a yard shy there. 14-7 to score.
There we go with Cody Hall's numbers. 14 games and 140 carries, so not too hard to figure out. About 10 carries per game, but just a shade under 1,000 yards for the year.
1,000-yard runner last season in Wilmington, Delaware at Salesian High School. 14-7 the score.
That's 7 yards per carry, a pretty impressive number, too.
Chapin on the keeper, right over center for the first down.
You've got to think right now, Jed, that stand by the defense, you see Chapin going for the first down here and getting it on the quarterback sneak. That stop again by the defense has really turned some momentum over to the offense here. You got 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. You can start to do some marching and maybe put together a drive. You really haven't done that all night.
It's getting late, though. Roy James now will dot the I. Pitch goes to Hall again, and Hall finds it tough. In on the stop, and he's been everywhere, is Ray Miller. And also Solomon Akbar again. And also, you know, a guy that Kevin Williams, 250-pound senior. He's number 61 in the program, and I mean, he's been all over the place. There's Jeremy Chapin.
Jeremy Chapin, 545 yards rushing, 1,300 yards through the air, 18 rushing touchdowns for Jeremy Chapin. So when we saw that quarterback sneak moments ago, he's used to doing that.
He's lost 2 games as a starter his whole career.
This year.
There's Hall again, and he's bounced back. I'll tell you, this Perry defense is ferocious. Oaks, Suleiman Akbar.
As I said,
Nico Riley as well.
Look at Perry's defense. They act and then react. I mean, they are very, very fast. There's Akbar once again. He has been a monster in the middle there.
And it's interesting because George Curry continues to attack that right side of the line, actually left side of the Perry line, time and time again, and it's giving up yardage every now and then, but not each time.
That's right. There's Akbar.
3rd and 6. This will be a short drop. Look, the pitch, they get it away. This is McCabe. McCabe's got a first down, dives to midfield. It's a gain of 9. They needed 7. Berwick still keeps the drive alive. That is a crafty play, and I'll tell you what, he didn't have a whole lot of room to put this through here.
Yeah, this was a nifty play. This was a dangerous
right off the shoulder pad there.
He had number 35, Nate Brown, coming through, and he very nearly batted that ball down. That would have been a loose ball at that point, but it got through. Good enough for the first down.
Look at it one more time. We get a chance then. You'll see Chapin actually fake it first and wait till it cleared, and then he finally threw it ahead when it was open.
One thing they're keying on, they know they're going to run at this formation. They always hand to Hall in this steal. Hall tries to get to the outside, and what a tackle. Just slide and drop by Corey Oaks.
What a game.
Well, you tell me there isn't a Division I college coach out there that doesn't think this guy can play some solid DB here.
Watch his fake by the quarterback in the last play again. Now watch, there's that inside. He's going to get tackled. Now watch, he fakes. Now he comes again. There's that little fake, and then he finally let him stay open. That's called poise, gentlemen.
That's the old Illinois shovel pass invented by Mike White back in the early 80s. He used to do that with Thomas Rooks, Jack Trudeau, and Tony Eason and everything.
There's his tackle by Corey Oaks. What a tremendous tackle by Oaks. He's having a great game this year.
I believe that's Melchiori to the 45-yard line. They have a revolving door. They are making changes here, trying to keep everybody fresh a little bit. I think George Curry senses it could be winning time in the fourth quarter.
George Curry has decided to make the clock his friend, and he is going to take the clock home with him if he can, as long as he can keep grinding out first downs. You see it here again, that running game. Keep the clock rolling, keep picking up 3 and 4 yards at a shot.
Living a high wire act, though. It's 3rd and 5. They've converted 3rd down once with a shovel pass, which we just looked at. Chapin alone, he's going back into the shotgun. That's a different look. Now throws almost intercepted. Ray Miller was there at the same time, and I'll tell you, they want a flag over on the Berwick side, but replays will show that that is a sensational play.
It may have even been tipped at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Well, if it's tipped, then all bets are off.
That's
He can
right.
do anything
That's what I'm
he wants.
saying. Ray Miller, it appeared Ray Miller may have had a hand across the intended receiver.
Hang on a minute,
here
we've got a call. They're waving it off because the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. You
ball
guys
was
are all
tipped.
over it there.
Yeah, looked like Ray Miller was absolutely correct in being draped over the back. Because look,
Right
look
there
here.
it is.
The defensive end right there tips the ball, changes the direction. There you see it. Because it's a perfect spiral until it gets to that point in its path. It's tipped by the defensive end, Perry, and then Ray Miller. Like you said, all bets are off. He can climb all over the receiver, which he basically did. So, big play defensively for Perry.
4th down, and Berwick's going to go for it. 43 seconds remaining. All right, Chapin's going to drop back and punt. They're going to set up field position now unless there's a fake on. Don't be surprised. Anytime the quarterback's back there, little pooch kick. He got it way up in the air.
Good kick.
This is not easy. Rutherford, good athlete, good poise, makes the fair catch at the 15. That is not as easy as it looks, I can tell you that. Especially in a night like this. It's like catching a loaded brick.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a cinder block falling into your arms. The temperature has started out at game time at 26 degrees, but has fallen considerably since then.
You hang out in it for a while, it seems considerably colder.
Well, the weather outside is frightful. I tell you what, time to start singing carols out there. It's a
That's
much
right.
better night for carols than it is for football, but great game we have on our hands here.
Lone setback is Chuck Griffey. He's got a 15-yard touchdown run in this game. There's Rutherford, little quarterback draw. Berwick's all over it again. Schechterly, Jeremiah Dyer. It's a safe play down here. That must be a real slick end of the field. At least it looks it, just the way the lights hit it. I mean, it kind of glows in the dark a little bit.
You know, you can
I think Perry at this point is going to play for the win now. They're going to let this clock bleed out to end this 3rd quarter now.
But you can see that play, the tremendous explosiveness of a guy like Rod Rutherford, where that may work against many teams. It didn't work against Berwick, but this quick quarterback sneak, that quick hitter, a guy like Rod Rutherford is so athletic and so quick that may go for some positive yardage against a lot of teams in this state.
Well, Perry's the only team to ever defeat Berwick in the postseason. They did it in 1989. They are 12 minutes away from doing it again in 1997 with a 14-7 lead as we make the turn and thunder down the stretch in the final in AAA. This broadcast underwritten by the dairy farmers of the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program, American Dairy Association, who remind you that your body needs strong muscles, steady nerves, and quick energy to compete in today's athletics. Your body needs the right fuel. Got milk?
As the Berwick kids started to switch fields for the 4th quarter, you saw the 4 fingers go up. That's something they've made kind of famous. They own the 4th quarter. They've owned it many, many times here. But looking for the 4th straight championship. 4 has a big significance for Berwick here tonight.
There you see the Perry people. A lot of the people in the stands here this evening remember that 1989 game, as does the Perry team. Even though that was several years ago, this Perry team is well acquainted with that 1989 championship game where Perry defeated Berwick at Hershey Park Stadium 20-8. Coach Gus Catanese has his Perry team watch a tape of that game before each and every game this season. So they're familiar with each and every play in the history of this game and that series.
That goes Rutherford, jump ball for Oaks. Can he catch up with it? No, he's an inch away at the 40-yard line. Shows you his speed, though. He is a burner, Gary, I'll tell you.
Shows he's human also. It's about the only thing he hasn't caught has been thrown near him tonight.
It's true.
Yeah, Oaks is certainly a home run hitter, and I'll tell you what, Rod Rutherford's fully capable of throwing that home run ball. That is a lethal combination, and that's got to have George Curry scared to death there on the Berwick sidelines. These guys can hook up and score from anywhere on the field.
And it's interesting, the first time they get the win here in the 4th quarter, they throw the bomb.
Yeah.
They're looking at 3rd and 7 right now. Oates with single coverage off your screen. They might look that way. Rutherford into the shotgun. They're going to quick kick it. That's a pretty good call right there, especially if they get this kind of roll. Oh, that's interesting. A quick kick on 3rd and 7, and Perry climbs all over it. And it's still going, and they kick it out at about the 21.5-yard line. That's where Berwick will take over. 76-yard punt for Rod Rutherford.
That'd be the kind of page you pull out of a George Curry playbook there.
Oh, no, that guy's get a phone booth for him. He can change into different outfits. He's like Superman for this Perry team. A 66-yard punt. Okay, that's still good.
Yeah, what's Rod Rutherford done tonight? He's got an interception.
30-yard run that was really the catalyst of this big rally, right?
As incredible a run as you'll ever see. And oh, yeah, he's the quarterback.
Corey Hall again, and he's stamped down at about the 24. Not only are they quick, but I mean, they pack a wallop when they're out there. Anthony Evans in on the stop. He's only 5'9", but I'll tell you what, he brought the hammer down on this run.
He sure did. Look at this. Hall looks like he has a little bit of a lane to run. But there's Nate Brown and Evans.
Anthony Evans, he's all over him. Gain of 2 the hard way to the 24. That was a great call for the quick kick right there. You know you've got the win. You don't like your field position. Your offense is out of whack. Boom. 66-yard lottery hit.
Took your shot at your bomb right away. Didn't work, and so you get rid of it.
Here's Chapin running for his life. Under the gun, looking, throws, incomplete. McCabe is in the area code. Perry wants intentional grounding, but McCabe, right place, right time to salvage that deal.
Kip McCabe run along the side that time and absolutely was a receiver, although everybody in the world knows where that ball was aimed.
Here you see Jeremy Chapin, who is now 3 for 12 on the evening with 3 interceptions. And Chapin just threw the ball away. There was a receiver in the vicinity, so yeah, the Perry folks were looking for an intentional grounding call, but James Snow of Berwick was about 5 yards downfield, so it'll bring up a 3rd and 8 situation for Berwick.
This is big because they'd have to kick into the wind here. Chapin is back, looking. Now they take away his middle one. They give it up. J.D. Stanley, he catches the ball to about the 24, and Perry crawls all over him.
Mike O'Reilly came in there and just stuck it on underneath. He smelled out the middle screen, and watch this.
That's a great play by Mike O'Reilly. This play could have gained some positive yardage. It's set up. Look at the wall. But Mike O'Reilly sneaks in there. Snuffs it out. Big play.
Look, they got a bear trap, but it's like that time trying to get down the field.
I'll tell you, Chapin was looking to throw right away, and the linebacker, Adam Hughes, came over. Chapin kicking into the wind. Pretty good end over end. It's going to hit the ground. This time it goes sideways. Did it hit a Perry player? That might have hit a Perry player. It did.
It did.
That inadvertently hit a Perry player in the back, and it's Berwick ball at the 48-yard line. Well,
watch this again. It hit.
Is there anybody that's got a connection to the psychic network? It's George Curry, because I'll tell you, they really needed this.
Takes a right hop.
It hits one of the players right in the back. See, there it is right there. Right in the back, just below the numbers. Right there. Hits the player, and the Berwick players, they're on the ball enough to know that, hey, that's a live ball at this point.
That's what the
now they're discussing the situation is. Look at George Curry back there. He's trying to give the referees a little bit of help, but they're saying right now that maybe it hit a Berwick player first. So if that is the case, of course it's down at that spot. So the referees are talking it over.
You look at George Curry there and you wonder how they ever got the name Bulldogs. I don't know.
Here we go. Does it hit that Berwick player right there? Number 21, I don't know, can't make out the number, but does it hit his hand?
It might have gone across his chest.
It just may have hit his chest or hand and then skipped into the Perry player. It's Perry ball, that's what they say.
Oh my.
Got a piece of the Berwick player.
You look at George Curry's reaction. He is not going to be starting the fan club here for this officiating crew on this play.
George Curry is beside himself on the Berwick sidelines. He does not like that call at all.
Tell you what, give credit to the officials on that. They have confabbed a couple times, and I think they've come away with the right answer in 2 very key situations.
Well, that's a big possession there. 10:05. We're in the 4th quarter. 14-7. That's a huge call. Either way, good field position for Perry. Boy, they dodged a bullet there.
3 wideouts to the near side.
Hand off Griffey. He runs right through the lane. Good tough run to the Berwick 49-yard line. That's a gain of 4 or 5.
On that quick kick, by the way, that they had earlier, they actually netted 34 yards on the exchange of punts. So an interesting exchange for Perry, and now Perry starts to try to grind it out a little bit, make the clock their friend.
Well, you're looking at Jeremy Dyer. He's had a tremendous night, and he was held on the play. So flag was thrown, and they're going to push Perry back.
It'll be 10 yards. Well, they netted down 23 yards. It continues to melt down, right? Anyway, what you need after that quick kick, and the Perry defense delivered, certainly, were the 3-and-out series. They were dominant in that last defensive set. Keep in mind, single coverage here. They've got the wind, and Rutherford certainly has the rifle to get it there.
3 wideouts to the near side again.
There's Griffey. Little screen pass to Oakes. This is set up nice. 40, step around move, has 5. Into the secondary, 45, 40, and out of bounds. To the 39-yard line. Love the call, love the talent. Oakes, get him in the open field. Good things happen.
He's a game breaker. Watch this. Just a quick drop, one step off the line of scrimmage, finds Corey Oakes, and he's got some blockers set up in front. There you see a nice kick-out block. That's number 37, Ken Grimmett. And watch who makes the tackle, Jeremiah Dyer, out of the linebacker spot from way downfield, pushes him out of bounds. First down for Perry.
Gain of 25 and a first down to the 39 of Berwick. Lone setback is Chuck Griffey. He's been running the lanes very well. Not this time. There is no room in the lane. Schechterly is there. J.D. Dyer. Also Leroy Spencer. Boy, has Spencer been in on a lot of plays tonight.
Spencer, such a great story and such a great game this evening as he continues to be in on literally just about every tackle.
That's one thing. When you've got these kind of speed-type players, you can just run a simple screen like these guys do. You get them in the open field. I mean, you get one block or stick on a block, just that instant long, and I mean, good things happen.
Wonderful players have the ability to do wonderful things.
Ball at the 40, maybe a loss of a yard on the play. Rutherford steps under center. Going to pitch it out to Griffey. Ball is loose, ball is down. Berwick's around it, and I think Griffey got it back at the 45. Oh, that's some mayhem there. I'll tell you what, when you start putting it on the carpet.
Yeah, it sure is. Griffey, right now, you know, we talked about the cold conditions, and that ball is still loose, and Griffey was very fortunate.
Wow.
He was the only blue shirt around there. A whole host of Berwick defenders hovering around that loose ball, but Griffey comes back up with it. You know, it might have been one of those man things at the end, the bottom of the pile, where he kind of might wrestled it away from a Berwick player, but nonetheless, Perry dodges another bullet. They retain possession. 3rd and 16 now. Another loss in the play for Perry.
Trips to one side. 3 wide receivers. Quick open for Oakes. Oakes is going to load it long. Looking for Grimmett and incomplete. Good coverage for Berwick. Chris Banyas was all over that.
You know, Corey Oakes, he threw that ball 50 yards in the air downfield. He's the wideout. Watch this throw. One step back. Very similar to the play we saw earlier, but this time Corey Oakes elects to try to find a receiver downfield. He was looking for Grimmett, number 37, but the ball was well overthrown.
Banyas was great coverage there. I mean, he wasn't fooled at all. Watch the fake. There's an offside against Berwick there. Corey Getz, I think, jumped early. That'll move it back to the 40-yard line.
I'm not too sure the right guard for Perry didn't pull up first here.
Yeah, that's what the official.
I think Getz is going to be ruled offside. We'll see.
They got 13 guys out there. We have a dead ball, illegal here.
8:07 to go. Well, I don't think they're going to try a fake.
Perry will be punting with the wind
Pauly
at their back.
Pauly is built kind of like a fire plug a little bit. I mean,
Well,
you never know. Maybe he hadn't thrown all year, and now he'll throw a perfect spiral. But I think he's kicking down in there, trying to pin Berwick deep. The way their defense, and they're against the wind, might as well play field position
Berwick
here.
may be coming.
Oh, they're bringing everybody, and he got it out of there. Banyas under it at the 15. Now he looks for an opening, nowhere to go. That's one of the hardest parts on the field right there to get things done in.
You know what?
That's right where Berwick's got to get it done.
Banyas has returned 6 punts for touchdowns this season. That's a Berwick school record. And, you know, George Curry had to be thinking of maybe hitting the home run there. If he doesn't get the block, at least try to get Banya some positive yardage on the punt return.
Look at Perry, though, disciplining themselves to running the lanes on that and making sure they shut down. And you saw Nate Reed just pinning them in there, not letting them get to the outside.
Cold one tonight now, Tuna.
Said Nate Reed there, meant Nate Brown. I want to make sure we give him credit.
Well, that's a big one for Berwick now. Handoff, second man through. Oh, wiped out totally. Melchiori. It's getting late now. I'll tell you what, 7:45 and counting. 14-7, Perry leads.
This swarming defense, Nate Brown makes the first hit, and then look at this, he gets a whole lot of help, and I'll tell you what, these guys, they are fast, and they beat you up. They hit hard.
Perry is the only team to defeat Berwick in the postseason. We mentioned 1989 at Hershey. Berwick trying for an unprecedented 4 consecutive state crowns. The only other team to do it in another sport was Carlisle in basketball. Back goes Chapin again. Looks, throws, got a man. It's almost intercepted. Rutherford, he had a clear lane. Oh, he's got a cartoon bubble over his helmet right now, visualizing what might have been.
And he knows it. He absolutely knows it. He knows he could have put this game away. Look at this. Here's Chapin once again, locked in on a receiver from the time he takes the snap. And there's Rutherford lurking just a couple of yards off the intended receiver. McCabe, it hit his hands, and he had a clear lane to the end zone.
Rutherford, who picked off the score last week, potential score to tie the game, and ended the game for his team and brought him to this game. Rutherford, the hero there. And I just started thinking he tried to go into the end zone there before he ever had the ball in his hands.
99 yards last week, as Gary is talking about, which bolted down the Western final against West Allegheny, 29-17. West Allegheny was driving late.
Got a referee's
that would have been about a 25-yarder, a little less distance, and probably less traffic because there was nothing around.
If you're watching this game tonight and you're a potential recruiter and you don't like Oaks and Rutherford, you need to find a brand new stadium.
Butler too, and all. You know, I'm telling you, Oaks is a great prospect in my opinion, as a defensive back. Same with Rutherford, but I think Rutherford's going to play a lot of offense.
And of course, Griffey's a great one too, and then you look at the Berwick kids as well. You got a lot of great heart kids out there that are going to be seeing a lot of time in college as well.
A lot of people are going to want the Rutherford phone number. You know, this whole Perry team, guys, they're all juniors for the most part. At least the core. Rutherford's a junior. Start looking at Oaks, he's a senior, but
Griffey's
I mean, Griffey's a junior. Over the middle, pass caught, dropped, I believe. Intended for James Snow, Jr. It is 4th and 10, and Berwick's got to kick it away with 7:08 left. There is no choice. I'll tell you, you're not going to get anything done in that side, in that area of the field.
Well, you know what? I think we're starting to feel the effects of the cold. We're starting to see that right now. These balls, they're hitting receivers' hands, and these guys are dropping and catching. You know, and it's very difficult to hold on to a very slippery, very hard ball in this weather.
Well, in addition to the way they've been hitting out there, and I think you're looking around and hearing footsteps as well.
Yeah.
Good kick by Chapin, end over end. Getting in there is Butler. Check that. Yeah, it is Butler. To the 39, and I'll tell you what, that ball was bouncing around. He had a hot potato in there. But it's 1st and 10, Perry at the 39, and even if this drive were to stall, you just pooch it right back down in there.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what, that was a dangerous situation. Rob Butler saw that thing bounce off his chest. Berwick's possessions, well, they haven't been too productive here in the second half of play.
3 and out entirely in the
They've punted 6 times in this ball game. When was the last time that happened to a Berwick team?
I think that's the entire 10-year history of the tournament that they've been in. Maybe. Rutherford, handoff Griffey. Got a hole up the middle. Nothing fancy about that. It's a beer and a shot to the 36-yard line.
They're saying
3 yards. It's in the middle of the field. Clock continues to wind.
Berwick is saying that that ball was loose and they recovered.
Wow. I never even saw that. I don't think anybody did. Unless you were on the field. That's a big turnover.
There's Griffey once again. He's still not down. He's still. Oh, yeah.
There it is out.
They stripped the ball. It would look like number 93.
J.D. Stanley.
210-pound junior.
There is still a pulse.
That's a heads-up play by J.D. Stanley. He saw Griffey, had that ball out there. His mates had stopped him, so he decided to go for the ball. Big turnover. See if it charges some life into this Berwick Bulldogs football club.
Giveaway, takeaway, it's everything, especially down the stretch. That's a huge turnover. Gets Berwick out of that field position mess. Now Chapin loading long, looking downfield. Banyas, jump ball, can't hang on at the 32. Pretty good coverage down there. Who else? Butler. Rob Butler or Corey Oakes have been there all night long, and Chapin put enough air under it and had his man.
Yeah, he sure did. He threw this right into the teeth of the wind. This is a real nice toss. He gave his receiver a shot at catching this, but this is just great coverage on the part of Rob Butler. Good effort from the intended receiver as well, and that's just some good football. And, you know, both players, if you would have continued that, both players got up afterwards and kind of slapped each other on the shoulders like, nice play, nice try.
Chapin into the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Looking under the gun, throws it over the middle. This is Snow. Snow short of a first down to the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 7. A dicey 3rd and 3 upcoming for Berwick now.
Amazing. There's Rutherford again coming out of nowhere. That could have been a big, big play, and Rutherford just shut it down the middle of the field. Tough one-on-one tackle. Watch this.
Yeah, here you're going to see it again. Rutherford, the free safety, number 12, and he shuts it down right away. Like you said, they would have picked up that first down if Rutherford wouldn't have come in and shut the door.
5 players come in for Berwick. Perry just waiting for him to get there to the line of scrimmage and call the play. They've played with such discipline tonight on the defensive side. Big Roy James is in. Now, they've run all night long in this formation. They do again with Hall's got a first down to the secondary. This is big-time play inside the 40 to the Perry 38-yard line. Corey Hall shows us the burst for a gain of 19 yards.
Here we're going to see it again, the deep pitch to Corey Hall. And Hall attacks the left side this time, some good kick-out blocks. And Cody Hall takes it all the way inside the 40-yard line to the 38.
Remember, they were attacking the left side of the line before. This time they attacked the right side of the Perry line. Look at the results. Little different move, little different results.
They've run every time in this formation. They'll stay on the ground this time. Melchiori, nowhere to go. Suleiman Akbar, Kevin Williams, and I believe Charles Linhart are in on the stop. Linhart's had a good night. He's a 6'4", 225-pounder. He's only a junior, this core junior group.
There's Coach George Curry. Led his Bulldogs to the 4th consecutive trip to the finals here. They're 5-1 in the state finals. Their only loss, that 20-8 defeat to this Perry club in 1989. 5-1 in state final games.
Chris Banyas, single coverage, but it is Corey Oakes. They throw it over the middle. Snow's got a man. He's loose. 30. Has the 25. Snow to the 20-yard line and a first down. A gain of 17. And I'll tell you what, James Snow has come up big.
He's hurt
in this 4th quarter.
Watch the block as he comes across the field with this catch. There's a block that opens him up for another 8-9 yards. Here it comes. Here's the pitch. Now watch the block right here. And he's just wide open coming across. Wham. 35 gets laid on his back.
Yeah, Nate Brown just, he got cracked. And there you see Snow. He's down. Landed kind of funny over there on the sidelines. He's all right. Of course.
He says, let me up. I want to get back in the game here.
Yeah.
He has the wind knocked out of him a little bit.
He has opened it up here in the second half of play. James Snow. There's that block. It was J.D. Stanley coming across the field, and he laid out Nate Brown and Perry. And like you said, Gary, it enabled James Snow to ramble for about another 4 or 5 yards on the play. So it'll be a first down at the 10, first and 10 rather, at the 21-yard line. Under 5 minutes to play here in the state championship game. You see chilly fans here in Altoona. Snow's up. He's limping off to the bench.
And if you had a scenario where you had a coach that you wanted to be leading you down the stretch here with 4:45 to go, you're down 7, and you're going for your 4th state title, George Curry might be the choice in the state of Pennsylvania.
James and Hall will line up in the I formation. Pitch back to Hall again with Big Roy James leading the way. This time all kinds of blue shirts around. First man there, Jay Bryant. Suleiman Akbar. Chris Malera, Anthony Evans also there.
Once again, they line up in that I formation and run left. But this time, Perry's right there to shut the door on Cody Hall.
Anthony Luster leading the charge that time.
Four minutes to go in this ball game. It's been a great game. All the scoring done in a 4.5-minute span of the second quarter.
And off ball, he's got a seam to the 10, 5, touchdown! Nope, they say he's out at the 1. At the 1-yard line, Corey Hall, and Berwick is a yard away from putting us into the overtime scenario.
Here, Cody Hall takes the handoff. Look at the kick-out block there by big number 99, Roy James, 250 pounds. That opens up a seam right down the sidelines, and he stepped out of bounds at about the 1-yard line.
Here we go.
There you see it.
Nothing fancy about this. 2 timeouts remaining for Perry. The one they had to burn off the exchange on the punt could come back now big. If there is such a thing as overtime, which we'll get into momentarily, handoff Hall, touchdown. They're a point away now. Jared Bryson will attempt to tie the game. It's 14-13, and the fumble by Perry has created the window of opportunity. You cannot give Berwick that many chances.
There you go.
You will pay.
Cody Hall busting it into the end zone. Here you're at field level. And there's Cody Hall knifing into the end zone for the touchdown.
Bryson is on for the extra point. They'll go for the point. I think if you're George Curry at this point, even if you look down the stretch or in overtime, you've got to like your team's chances. Defense is what's really gotten them here. Snap down, kick is good. We are tied at 14. That wasn't easy, I'll tell you. That was just in there. Well, the scenario is this. If it does not get settled here, you go to the 10s and you get 4 cracks and you play it out until there's a winner.
But we still have 3:43 to go in regulation time.
For Rod Rutherford, and the wind at his back. What you're looking for now is a big return, and don't think George Curry doesn't know that.
Not only the Perry explosiveness, but we saw the revitalization of the Berwick offense in this particular series. Berwick exploded. Cody Hall led them downfield. It was a nice drive, so this is going to be a tremendous finish. Under 4 minutes to go, 3:43 up in the upper left-hand portion of your screen.
Chapin to kick off. Oakes and Butler are deep. He nails it. It will be Oakes. Now there's a missed exchange.
It's still on the floor.
I don't know what he was thinking there. William Graham had his whole back turned to it. Got in the way of Oakes that time. Wow.
I don't know if I've ever seen a fumble.
Well, that happened last year with Blackhawk. Blackhawk let one slip like that.
I think William Graham actually shielded him away, though, here. Now watch.
Yeah,
Graham stands. Now look.
I don't think I've ever seen a fumble just stay on the carpet that long.
He thought Oakes had it, and he turned his back. Oh, my.
Boy, that was
here we go.
Disaster for Perry.
Rutherford into the shotgun now. He's a great threat to run, as you well know by now. We are tied at 14. Here's Rutherford back under the gun. This time Rutherford running for his life and dropped at about the 18-yard line. In on the stop for Berwick is John Ohl. And, oh, Mr. Momentum's on the Berwick side of the field right now.
Yeah, it does appear to be that way. Here comes the snap. And look at this. This pocket collapses almost immediately. There's Shetterly once again. Boy, he has been a tiger tonight.
Same with Jason Koch, who had his feet trip him up a little bit. Clock continues to go with 3:10. In regulation now, tied at 14.
We have never had an overtime game in a 3A championship game.
Last overtime game here, 94, I believe, with Forest Hills and Mount Carmel. Back it goes. Rutherford airs it out. It's a jump ball downfield and almost intercepted by Benyus.
Oh, flag on the play.
That'll be interesting to see what this could be.
That could be offensive interference.
Ken Grimmett really laid a lick out there on number 85, William Ferrara. Make that number 25, rather. Check that. That was Chris Banyas.
All right, here's Berwick. You're sitting on 3 timeouts now. Even though they are kicking with a win, this 15-yard penalty really pins them back. You might be looking at halfway reasonable field position, and you've got Jared Bryson, who's a guy that can knock it down from 40 and in.
We have
That's
offensive
yards
pass
for a field goal
interference,
try.
number 37, and they lost it down. Second down.
Yeah, they lose it down there, too. I mean, that's just pivotal right there. Oh, the wheels are coming off Perry right now.
Well, the mistakes have certainly hurt him this game. 2 fumbles have led to 2 scores for Berwick.
A lot of those empty trips into the red zone in the first half really hurt now. Rutherford standing in his own end zone in the shotgun on 3rd and 20. He's going to quick kick it. That's his second of the night. Last one went 66 yards. This one's not bad either. Gets a friendly bounce. Banyas thought about picking it up, and it's at the 49.
That's a
Berwick will have 2:37 to win a state championship for a 4th consecutive time. 40-yard kick off the free kick by Rutherford. Perry fans, we haven't heard much. We're on their side. I think they're looking in shock at this point. All right, Gary, 2:37 to go. It's muscle time. It's a good one. Keep in mind, the trend they've run every time with this play. Hall with a carry. Hall trying to get outside, runs forward to about the 47. Hey, there's nothing fancy about that. When they run in the eye with James and Hall, they're running every time.
That's exactly right. Big 99, Roy James. He's 250 pounds leading the way. They run left, and they pick up positive yardage more often than not. That time, first down yardage, gain of 4. Not bad. That's exactly what George Curry wants to see. About 2 minutes to go here. What could be a tremendous finish.
They still have 3 timeouts remaining. Here comes another run. Hall again. He's getting good surge up near at about the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 5, short of a first down. It'll be about 3rd down and 1. What Berwick's doing here, guys, is that if they're not going to get anything, there's going to be at least overtime.
Well, they're running behind Gus Felder. You know, they're using the strength of their team. They're using a very talented player in Cody Hall. They've got a big muscle back and Roy James leading the way. And they're going right behind big Gus Felder, a 300-pounder.
4 down country.
I think you might see a pass in this play to get downfield a little bit more to set up for the field goal.
Well, you won't see a pass now, not with this formation. Handoff, Hall jumps through. I don't think he got there. He got door slammed on him. They'll have to burn a timeout now with 1:14 seconds left.
Really thought in that 3rd down play, and they went into the I formation, obviously. They might try to throw downfield to set up, but Curry might be very, very happy at this point to get to overtime, feeling like he has a better strength, more momentum on his side. He's held Perry to -16 here in the second half with his defense.
1:05 remaining.
Let's see who made the defensive play right here to stop him. Looked like someone came out of the cornerback spot.
I think anytime you look at overtime, Gary, I think if you've been trailing as much as Berwick has the entire night up until recently, if you get into overtime, you know, you have the momentum advantage, I think, much more so than, say, Perry would, who's been on the lead lap much of this game.
Well, you get to overtime, too, and all of it depends on the flip. You want to make sure that you've got the choices. You get the flip, you get the choice, you get a chance to put that team on offense first and then bring it home and know what you got to beat.
Perry's not giving it up easy. I'll tell you what, when you're 3rd and 2, Mark, the way that defense just surged right in there, I mean, they shut that down.
They sure did. They came up and a lot of good contained from the linebackers. They pinched the holes very well. They knew it was coming. They knew it was coming. You know, they run left out of that I formation, and they shut it down. We'll see. 4th and 1 here.
Oh, with 20 carries now for what, St. George? 95 yards. They need 2. They're going to go with Hall again. He's got the first down, spins forward to the 39-yard line. They're still going with 1 minute and 1 second to go. It'll stop the clock. They'll restart it here momentarily. They've got 2 timeouts remaining. We are tied at 14. The ball at the 39.
Tied at 14, and you think about Perry's missed opportunities in the red zone earlier game. You think about Perry's missed opportunity when the ball hit Rod Rutherford in the hands, and he had a clear shot at the end zone. So,
if you're George Curry right now, you're thinking about getting it down to about the 20-yard line, where you can set up for maybe a field goal and a possible final score.
Shaping on a keeper. Nobody home. 20. Inside the 20. They're in field goal range to about the 17-yard line. They were asleep at the switch. Is there a flag down now?
Yep, personal foul on Rod Rutherford.
Oh, he hit him out of bounds from what we're hearing over there.
Jeremy Chapin was already out of bounds, and Rod Rutherford drew the personal foul call. You're going to see it right here. This looked to me to be a busted play. I don't know if this is by design. Design play.
The old fake option. He turned around, looked like he was faking a handoff, just an old, almost Statue of Liberty play, then turned around and headed for the left side.
Look at this. This is going to put Berwick right down there on the doorstep. And there's the penalty right there. You see a push out of bounds from Rod Rutherford.
Ball at the 9-yard line.
I'll tell you, if Rod Rutherford isn't back there,
He may
Chapin
score.
he is in for the touchdown. Rod Rutherford as a free safety spot was the last line of defense.
He came in with 548 yards. That was a big rip there. Handoff goes to Melchiori. Does he have the corner inside the 5? 30 seconds to go. 29 and timeout on the field. Timeout Berwick.
There you see Melchiori. This time it's Melchiori following Big Roy James. He gets the corner, and he picks up about 6 yards on the carry.
Another number to call here, the second half mark, is big number 78, Micah Hanna. Boy, what a load he is. He's out in front there really leading the charge. He's done it several times here in the last 2 series.
Want to remind you, this broadcast underwritten by the dairy farmers of the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program, American Dairy Association, who remind you that hard work and good nutrition will improve your performance in the classroom and on the field. You need the right ingredients in your training program. Got milk? 29 seconds left.
Well, there's the situation.
You had to play it right now. You basically got yourself all but an extra point attempt.
Well, Bryson's a pretty reliable kicker, a senior, well within his range. He's almost automatic here. I hate to say anything's automatic considering how cold it is, and ball is hard to handle, pressure situation.
Ball sitting at the 4-yard line, second down and goal.
Perry's defense, don't sell him short. They played heroically all night long. Melchiori, make that haul, he didn't get there. They're going to have to use their final timeout on 3rd and 3. This will be an interesting call. This is a dicey call because if you run now, you have no time to set it up. It'll be close.
Take a look at this last call, though. What they do is they run it right into the middle of the field, put it right out in front of the goalpost just in case. And in case that time meant that Perry knocked him down, but he has it right in front of the goalpost, which is exactly where he wants it.
Where does George Curry elect to kick the field goal right now?
I think they're going to try one more play. That's
I don't
an
think so.
interesting one. You
I think they're going to try to...
You're right, Mark. There he is.
I think he just
Bryson is on.
Changed his mind. You
He's
see him walk
it here.
You see him walk to the side. He changed his mind, walked back, and said, I'm going to change it right now. We're going to get it done.
So on 3rd down, they're going to kick the field goal.
Like Gary said, he set it up the way he wants it. He put that thing right in the middle of the field for his kicker. It's basically an extra point. Why not do it now?
Now, the guy to watch for here is Suleiman Akbar at 6'3". Rutherford is also a guy that can climb the sky. They'll try and get their hands on it. To hold is Banyas. Here we go. This is for the ball game. The kick is up, and it is good. A 21-yard field goal by Jared Bryson. And Berwick has roared back from 7 down and has scored 10 unanswered points here in the 4th quarter to take a 17-14 lead. Well,
isn't that something you dream of if you're a kid kicking the potential game-winning field goal with a matter of seconds left on a snowy night here in Altoona, Pennsylvania? What a game this has been.
Perry really had this game by the throat. Big time. They
Yeah,
had
they
the ball down at the Berwick 39-yard line. Then they got fumbled away, and that really was the window of opportunity George Curry and Berwick needed to get right back into the thing.
Got to go back to the 3 missed possessions in the first half.
Oh, 3 empty trips, huge now.
The invisible fumble this half that came up, and Berwick, of course, scored the tying touchdown off that. It's just been a game of what might have been for Perry. And you can't play that game with Berwick because they take what might have been and they turn it into what is. And what is right now is 17-14 with 19 seconds to go.
Fellas, here's an interesting stat. Perry had 184 yards rushing at the half. They're now down to 168 yards rushing, minus 16 yards on the ground in the second half for the Perry Commodores.
Well, Corey Oakes, Rob Butler deep.
Got some game breakers back there.
They're home run threats. They're going to pooch it to him. It's going to be Butler. He's going to get his hands on it. Butler, he's crawled all over. Berwick just flying around right now at the 11-yard line. They sense it close. I would think, just by the reaction there. Oh, my goodness.
Like the shark feeding frenzy was going on right here. Watch this. You want to make some friends in a hurry? Pick up the ball and see what happens. Look at this.
Yeah, that ball's like a white uniform magnet right now, and the Berwick players, boy, they are swarming.
Larry Hook.
You saw the snow coming down and whitening the ground tonight. That time, Berwick whitened the ground with uniforms, bringing down the running back.
They sure did. They went down there on a mission. You know, and I'm sure their coach, George Curry, told them, hey, you know, these guys back there, they can break this game open. They are fully capable of taking this ball into field goal position or into the end zone for a touchdown. So make doubly sure that you guys get down there very quickly, break their contain, and make a tackle. They had a certain job to do, and they certainly did it.
Much like the end of the first half here, we now see what could be one of the more exciting plays. I don't know if you guys all remember, when you're a kid, you said, I'll be the Coke bottle, you be the bottle cap, you run down there, the second building, turn right. We might see one of those plays coming up here that would be a little bit of a gimmick.
You go to the van, I'll go to the Volkswagen. Then I'll lateral to you in the middle of the street.
Run through the kitchen and go out the back door. We might get there.
I think the old hook and ladder play is involved here. And a lot of hope.
Here it comes.
Nobody was around.
See, you're right there, guys. They had it set up where everybody was behind the man. Everybody was behind Edison.
Timeout. 4 seconds to go.
So Edison
and they need basically divine intervention at this point.
Take a look at the sideline. We get a chance at Berwick. Everybody down on their knee for the end of this game. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, nowhere to run to.
Shot at that here momentarily. Everybody's holding hand, locked in arms. There it is. Good work, guys and gals. There's Jeremy Chapin, number 7, the quarterback.
He's 7-0 in postseason play. And he's 4 seconds away from being 8-0.
So now they get up and burst with energy. 4 consecutive state championships.
Seniors on Berwick about to play on a state championship every year of their high school career.
You only get 4 cracks. It's not a bad record. Pass Rutherford, who's played so heroically. He's just going to unwind it deep. Oh, my goodness. It's 70 yards in the air, and it falls free, and the game's over. Berwick has won. Roaring back from 7 down and winning the game by a final of 17-14. Oh, boy. Well, the first since Carlisle in basketball with a great Billy Owens to win a state championship 4 consecutive years. And they're the first, obviously, in football to get that job done. A heroic effort by Perry and a great football game down the stretch. Mark?
Well, the Berwick Bulldogs just came alive in the second half of play, defensively and offensively. They held Perry defensively to 56 total yards in the second half. Meanwhile, Berwick's offensive unit totaled 178 yards, and they were very opportunistic, forced a couple of fumbles, and Berwick comes away with a thrilling 17-14 victory, which I agree, Jed, with you and Gary. Perry really had this game in the bag. And, you know, let's say Rod Rutherford hangs on to that ball and takes it into the end zone. At that point, that game was over. But he did not. The ball went off his hands and gave Berwick second life. But a tremendous, tremendous football game here played in Altoona for the PIAA AAA state championship.
Everybody comes here to Altoona, and what they have in common is a dream. Both have a chance to go for it equally. Both teams performed heroically tonight, but when it was all said and done, Berwick had avenged the 1989 loss. They had taken their dream home, and with Perry, they have to dream yet of another year coming up. George Curry and his Berwick Bulldogs have won 4 straight state championships.
And you know, Gary and Jed, there are no losers. When you're playing in December in Altoona, you're a winner. That's a successful season. You've had a great year. You've reached the pinnacle of the sport. But you know, it's a tough pill to swallow for the Perry Commodores. They know that they were right there. They had this ball game right there in the midst of the snow flurries here in Altoona. But boy, oh boy, it's an entertaining game to watch. I know they feel badly, but they're going to look back on a very good season and a very good effort here tonight.
Well, Perry will be a great club next year. A lot of this nucleus juniors, it's tough for them to take right now, but as we always say, you've got to make it here. Great to work with everybody here again. Gary Sutton, Mark Shuey for George Zurich, who kept a great book for us. Congratulations to Berwick. Congratulations to Perry. It was a great show in 1997 in AAA. Once again, Berwick is home again with a 4th consecutive state championship. I'd like to thank Mr. Brad Cashman, the executive director of the PIAA, for Gary Sutton, Mark Shuey, and also the entire crew with WITF. Have a good year, everybody.